ATECHAZ.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's ATECHAZ.com/jobs.
Only Wendy's serves a better breakfast with a better biscuit. Our hot buttery breakfast biscuits are loaded with a fresh cracked egg, cheese, and your choice of bacon or sausage. And right now at Wendy's, they're only $1 each.
Wendy's breakfast biscuits, just $1.
So don't take a chance with those other guys. Bet your buck on a better breakfast with Wendy's bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Limited time only. Participating Wendy's. Offer only applies to bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction per person per day. Not valid in a combo.
Join Choices for the annual Walk for Life, May 6th and 7th at Dream City Church in Glendale. The weekend kicks off with a concert by Jordan St. Cyr. Then hear a powerful message from Dr. William Lyle, OBGYN. Admission to the concert is free with a suggested donation of diapers and wipes. Then on May 7th, join with hundreds for the Choices Walk for Life. Check-in is at 7:30. The walk begins at 9. Register at choicesaz.com/walk for your free t-shirt and all the details.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari talks about the benefits of a financial advisor.
Not only the technicals and the fundamentals and the valuation, but you have to look at the macro picture. And that requires a lot of work where you're looking at the sectors and industries within the sectors. And then you find the stocks within the sectors that are doing better. And then you have to do the work on those individual stocks. And you sort of go to tons of sand before you find those nuggets of gold. And the discipline to do that continuously, day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, that is the hard part. People become traders, but they have a job, they've got a family, they get distracted, and then you look at it 3 weeks later and it's all history. Like your personal trainer who keeps your health on check, this is why you need a financial advisor to keep your emotions in check.
If you need help keeping your investments on track, call pound 250 and say talk to Mo, or go to compact.com and click on the Get Started button. That's COMPAK.com.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K2.2 Rolling Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, and he's back alongside Randy White. We got Keon Rhodes in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. All right, Randy, we've got questions for you.
Okay.
After your long vacation.
Yes.
Question number 1.
All right.
Did you shoot any turkeys?
No.
Question number 2. Did anybody shoot any turkeys?
No.
Question number 3. Did you see any turkeys?
Yes, yes, I did. I saw many turkeys as we moved around. They weren't, unfortunately, on where we were, my friend's property. Yeah, 150 pristine acres in beautiful the foothills of North Carolina. However, and we heard them. Mm-hmm. We just could not get them to come in. We were calling and calling. Yeah, they were mocking us. Yes, and we could not get them to come in close enough to shooting range. So no, nobody scored.
Number 4. What is the range of your firearms? Because I had just shot them on the other piece of land. I just would have taken a shot at them.
Well, the owners of that other property, they frown on that. And
is it like a turkey rescue or something?
No, but they frown on you taking turkey off of their property. Mm-hmm. And there's one person in particular that he actually scored the first day we were here. He has this huge box call, and it makes a gobble sound, and it drew in a big Tom, and he got him on the first day I was there.
Wait, I thought you said that nobody got a turkey, so somebody got a turkey.
I'm talking about the neighbor.
Oh, he got a turkey.
In my hunting party, no, we did not get any turkeys. So
I see. So what you got to figure out, is he chumming the water out there? You know what I mean? Is he putting in like turkey feed to keep them off the other piece of land? I mean,
well, see, that's
some
part
dirty
of the game.
dealing going on here.
That's part of the game, Jeff. These guys, they have feeders. They're shooting corn up until about 15 days prior to the opening of turkey season. Once turkey season opens, you can no longer chum the water, so to speak. It can no longer spread the corn and entice these birds to come in. But we did. Miss Kim was with me on this trip, and so we took a trip through into Asheville, North Carolina, and we went to a place called the Biltmore House, which is a very historical house. And I could tell you all the details, but I won't bore the audience. So we'll get to talking about other more magnificent things. But when we were on our trip there, I enormous amounts of turkeys
everywhere, but where you were hunting.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, it's almost like we were in the cone of silence.
Yeah.
There was no turkeys in our area.
Yeah, and if the turkey had known better, they'd have felt safe on that land anyway, because you guys are all horrible hunters.
Well, I mean, there is that.
Well, mostly not because you're bad shots. It's just you get good and liquored up, and a lot of trees that get hit, not too many turkeys.
I will say we sampled many fine products from the ABC liquor store, because they don't sell the spirits in the grocery stores or in the Costco. You got to go to an actual liquor store there in North Carolina, and we did enjoy some fine cigars. However, I can neither confirm nor deny that we got good and liquored up.
Well, we're glad to have you back. You all had a good time. It was having Kim like Great Outdoors. Everything goes well. I mean,
loved it. Yeah. Miss Kim, she's an Arizona girl, and for the first time, she heard some turkeys gobbling in the wild. First time she's ever had that happen to her. And guys, I go back to this place, and it's just beautiful. It's just pristine. The hardwoods, the pines. There's the Green River runs on the front of my friend's property, and then he's got a pond, so there's fishing available to you, and it's just gorgeous, quiet, serene, beautiful.
Well, that's nice. It's the opposite of here. The only hardwood we're going to talk about is basketball, or those pills that dude sells in the commercials.
Yeah.
888-368-1580. So Randy is back. That should be today's national holiday, but it's also, there's two things that today is. I'll let you choose which one you decide to observe. It's National Lingerie Day and National Telephone Day. So I couldn't decide, so I put a bra on the phone downstairs. I got yelled at, but I was like, well, I'm just celebrating both days. So
did it make the phone sexier?
No, it's no. I mean, it's not like one of those really sexy French phones that have, what I'm talking about, with the little dial.
Yeah.
This is just like a phone, so it didn't even make sense.
Is that the definition of phone sex then?
It was phone sexy, but it wasn't phone sex.
I can see. Yeah. Okay.
I just like to have the regular kind. There's no need for a phone. She's like right over there.
Right.
So by the way, we also had a conversation before we came on air that we do need to. Hell's a rutabaga. It became a punchline of a joke, and then I realized when I said rutabaga is a fun word. It's a fun and funny word. And I actually looked it up. I didn't have much time, and it looks like it's like a cross between an onion and a parsnip and a beet. I don't know what the hell it is. Somebody know what a rutabaga is? Please fill me in. Because I know there's somebody out there who knows what a rutabaga is. I honestly have never had a rutabaga, but it's always been a fun word to say. And now I realize I don't know what the hell I'm talking about if I say rutabaga. Rutabaga. Rutabaga.
And Google's very unhelpful. It just says it's a root vegetable.
Well, we figured that by the first part, root. And I just don't know what the bega part is.
Rutabaga.
And I was right, though, Keon, when I said, I get a feeling it's going to be purple. And it was half purple, the top part. Not sure. Maybe a turnip, says Moist One. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have time to properly look at it.
Yeah.
So somebody tell me what they use rutabaga for. Really no point other than it came up and now my mind won't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
888-368-1580. Blissful Hayes says, hey, Randy, why didn't you throw a couple of grenades at the turkey?
We're fresh out of grenades.
Yeah, and then how are you going to get the meat, just off of the trees and stuff? It's going to be splattered all over the place. That's that is not a good way to hunt, Blissful Haze.
We use the grenades to fish. So
see, there you go. Yeah, you don't.
Okay.
Mars Bars 805 says, sounds like Randy didn't get a gurney, just a wild turkey. Cheers. And let's see, King Kitten says rutabaga is used in pies. How could you put that in a pie? It doesn't look sweet at all. It looked like onionish sort of thing.
Yeah. Is it like a savory thing, like a chicken pot pie, or I don't know. I'm guessing.
Now I've heard of the rhubarb in a pie, but not a rutabaga.
Oh yeah, King Kittens. You're thinking of rhubarb, not rutabaga.
Yeah.
Bruno Baller says rutabaga sounds like a brand of RV. No, that's a Winnebago. Yeah, that's a Winnebago.
Gotcha. I see.
Boogie says, go to Cornish Pastry. Have the original Cornish pastry. It has a rutabaga in it. Tastes awesome. It's a specialty from Michigan. You use so many words, but telling me what the hell it is.
Yeah.
Boogie. So what the hell is it? Moist One says, I remember B.O.B. had a lyric, turn up like a rutabaga. I didn't hear that one. Mr. Pringle says, flamethrowers work pretty good on them turkeys, Randy.
Yeah, but the problem is then you burn the forest down. So
yeah. Well, you find more turkeys that way though, and they'll already be pre-cooked.
Well, that's true. I didn't think about that, but
you can't go back there for a while. But yeah.
Yeah.
Kaler also says you should use a flamethrower. So I guess a flamethrower is a popular choice of weapon for the fourth dimension to hunt for turkey.
See, Kaler's always trying to find the easy way out.
Yeah, just like he found the easy way out when he quit this job and went to do some cushy desk job with his dad or something.
There's your flamethrower right there.
There it is. Big George says, yay, Randy's back. Question for Randy and Jeffrey and Keon. Are you worried that the Suns might actually lose this series to the Pelicans? This Suns team just does not look the same without Devin Booker on the court. Well, we're going to talk about that in a moment, Big George, but I guess we can give you our short answer right now. If the series is tied up the way it is right now, of course you got a little bit of worry in there, but I'll be honest. I'm not sure what to make of this other than Adam Silver wants 7 games, and I'll explain that later. How about you, Randy? Are you worried?
I'm not worried about this. The Pelicans are overachieving, in my opinion. I mean, they made some moves this season, and they tried to get the team better. And I think the Suns just need to step up. Anytime you hold the leader of the team to 4 points in a game, and he's not very effective, you got to find a way around that. So, welcome to playoff basketball.
Keon, are you worried?
No, I'm not worried. This team still has home court advantage thanks to that win in Game 3. So you've got 2 more games in Phoenix and 1 less game that you have to play in that hellscape that is that New Orleans crowd that they got involved and they get loud. You got the Footprint Center. Those are going to be the home of the 2 games should you need 2 games to beat the Pelicans. So no, I'm not.
Yeah, that's a center there in New Orleans. What is that? The Quickie King Center. Sounds like something Dean Blandino would be involved in. The Quickie King.
I think every time for Dean Blandino's a quickie.
Well, I mean, he is the love doctor.
I think the love doctor needs to see a love doctor about being an 8-second ride. You know what I mean? By the way, I have breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. I have very important breaking news.
Newsflash. This is breaking news.
It is official, ladies and gentlemen. Larry Fitzgerald is retired.
Oh, well.
Okay, he did not come out and announce it, but I know he's retired now. This is going to cinch it for everybody. I saw a story about him playing pickleball in Pickleball magazine. So, yep. Now he's going to have to line up with Luby's cafeteria. He's got to leave his left blinker on permanently. He'll have to yell about people messing with the thermostat, and he has to play the pickleball. The man's retired.
Well, I did not know that was a prerequisite for you to be retired to play the pickleball, but
trust me on this. It's just a fact. And this was in a Pickleball magazine,
which I didn't even know existed. Pickleball magazine.
And the thing is, I think it was Pickleball Weekly. So somebody or maybe it was monthly. I don't know. I think it was Pickleball Weekly. I just can't imagine there'd be that much to say about pickleball. Now that they had Larry Fitzgerald saying, yeah, I play pickleball. Now that, that's pretty much it for the mag. I thought it was a gag. I thought it was a joke. Turned out to be a real thing.
I have this picture of Larry Fitzgerald playing pickleball. He looks super retired. He looks incredibly retired.
See what I'm saying? He's retired. So whether he admits it or not, whether he's come out and give a press conference, the simple fact that he's on the cover of a pickleball magazine tells you the man is retired and looking to maybe put on a nice, sweater and then tie another one in a knot around his neck. That's the retirement look right there.
Boy, I wouldn't want to play pickleball against Larry Fitzgerald. I'll tell you that much right now.
Oh, I'm sure he's a beast out there. I'm sure he's absolutely a terror. But you start playing pickleball regularly, you are retired. Period.
Well,
simple as that. Not much else to say about anything other than that is your proof. If you needed it, he is retired. By the way, over the weekend, I lost $1. My bet, it was a, underdog bet, but the underdog didn't have a chance. So bye-bye dollar. And Tyson Fury says it's his last fight, but he just completely just destroyed Dylan White. And in the 6th round, knocked him the hell out. And that was the end of that. But there were some records were broken. 94,000 fans were in attendance for this fight. That is the highest attendance for a boxing event since the Julio Cesar Chavez Greg Hagen match, which had 132,000 in Mexico City. But as you know, in Mexico City, there are no rules. There's no,
that's pretty true.
You just do what you want there.
Yeah. Make them up as you go, man.
So he says it's his last fight, but you know how that goes. We'll see what happens.
Boxing is notorious for guys retiring and then coming back for 1, 2, maybe even 3 more paydays.
Yeah. I mean, he says it and his wife kind of demands it, whatever. But he says to his wife, Paris, this would be it. This will be the final curtain for the Gypsy King. And he's kind of a dirtbag if you ever listen to him talk. But in general, as far as being an entertaining boxer, and then he shows up looking like a guy who's not in shape to win anything, and then he destroys you. He looks like one of us if we took off our shirt and decided to box, except for the part where who's left standing at the end,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right. So there you go. Bye-bye dollar. Blissful Hayes says, Jeffrey, how are you going to recover financially losing $1?
Yeah.
Will you be starting a GoFundMe account? $1 more, and yes. I got $1 more, and then yes. Mars Bars 805 says, well, it's a best of 3 now for the Suns. That is correct. It's all evened out. And there's, I'm not gonna say I'm worried, but it is worrisome. Let's go ahead. We'll talk about it. All right. Let me first let's Saturday was a great day for Arizona sports because the Suns won, the Diamondbacks won, right? Saturday we're like, yay, or Friday. Was it Friday? It was last Friday. I'm sorry. Last Friday when the Suns beat the Pelicans, it was a narrow margin, 114-111. Chris Ball was playing hero and everybody's like, yay, we're gonna be fine, everything's gonna be fine. And that just didn't last. And then last night's ugliness. And the first thing that everybody's going to say, I get it, as a fan, it occurs to you. Now, I saw on Twitter all of the comments about the officiating. And I saw Monty Williams, who's a mild-mannered coach, good guy, straight-laced, even-keeled. Even he had something to say about the officiating. And Monty says 42-15 in free throws, slice it any way you like it in a playoff game. That's physical. That's amazing. But coaches shouldn't have to come up to the microphone and feel like they're going to get their head cut off for speaking the truth. It's not like we didn't attack the basket. It's really hard to do. They outplayed us and they deserve to win, but that's a free throw disparity. So some people will say, okay, was it the officiating that cost the Suns the win, or was it that they didn't play well enough? I'm saying yes. You can make it
be true at once.
Yeah. And it's just, it has been that way for the entire playoffs. The Suns are not getting any, I get not getting any breaks, but this is just about criminal. It was just, you watched them foul the Suns under the same rules, because remember, even CP3 says, is this the old NBA or the new NBA? How are we doing this to a ref? Because it doesn't seem like they're calling stuff right. And so, we saw what, if the Suns had done that to them, would have been a foul. So it's not like just a bunch of people like, nah, we lost, boo, bad call. Use your damn eyeballs. Even somebody who is not a Suns fan watching that game is going to be like, The hell is going on
That's
here?
exactly, last night I was on Twitter while I was watching the game. That's exactly what Fish Tank was saying. Just like he was like, I'm not a homer, so I don't know. Is this a poorly officiated game? And I was like, no, this is an egregiously officiated game. When you look at the disparity, it was, Monty said it in the post game, 17-2 free throw attempts at halftime. And then they wound up, with the 42-15 by the end of the game. And like Monty said, it's not like they weren't attacking the basket. If you look at the points in the paint, the Pelicans scored 54. The Suns scored 56. So they were going to the basket. The referees were just not blowing the whistles. And I don't know that I've watched a game that poorly officiated, that lopsided in a very long time.
Now, yeah, come on, guys. This is the number 1 seed playing the number 8 seed. We shouldn't be in a 2-2 situation. I understand there's some bad calls, but the Suns need to make some adjustments. They need to change it up. They're playing like they can't do anything without Devin Booker on the floor, and we've been hailing them all season long about how deep they are and how good they are off the bench. So, okay, maybe that's part of it, but this team needs to step up. CP3 needs to shake this rookie that's been defending him. They need to come up with a new game plan, and they need to do it quickly, and they need to assert their authority. They are the number 1 seed.
How do you assert your authority when anything you do gets called as a foul and nothing they do gets called as a foul?
Well, I understand that thought process, but remember, this is the number 1 seed. These are the guys that won 63 games this year.
Irrelevant. It's irrelevant.
I don't think it's irrelevant at all.
No, it is. When you go in there, you're doing the exact same thing as the other team. They're getting fair calls. You're getting no calls. And then you saw the point disparity on this. It does make a huge difference. You could have done anything different, played as tough as you want. I'm not saying the Pelicans didn't play well. They were aggressive. They were playing defensively. But the Suns were kind of like, what are we allowed to do? How can we even do this? So it's not about making basketball adjustments. This really heavily was about how you overcome those bad plays. Now, if you were to say balance out the books a little bit, and if you were watching the game and you were sitting there hash marking off what should have been called as a foul, take into consideration their free throw percentage, and then right there, you'll see a team that is more evenly and probably winning this game. So no, I mean, I'm not crying about the refs, but it's mathematically and visually obvious what's happening.
I think the Suns did not do themselves, any favors with the amount of turnovers that they had, that didn't really take care of the basketball in that regard and got out rebounded. So I understand putting some of this on the Suns. I'm not saying absolve them of all responsibility.
Sure, that's what I said.
But when you look at what happened with these free throw numbers, you can't say that doesn't have an impact in what's going on. Brandon Ingram is too good of a scorer for you to not be able to not touch him. You might as well be open if you can't touch him. And anytime Jay Crowder played him physically at all, it was a foul. And you got in foul trouble very early. So you couldn't really guard the guy. I don't know what you're supposed to do if you can't play that kind of physical basketball, but the other team can play physical basketball with you, which is what they were doing to Chris Paul. They were beating him up.
Well, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll pick this up on the other side. We'll hear what you guys have to say. And, listen, we all get it, but you can't just say that the refs had nothing to do with it. As a Colts fan and Deflategate, of course I have some thoughts on this. It's a Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Heads up, sports bettors. Right now you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
NBA first-round playoff action continues tonight. Things get underway with Memphis at Minnesota. The Timberwolves a 1.5-point underdog at home, plus 105 on the money line. Memphis minus 125. The over-under is 236.5. The best of 7 tied at 1 game apiece. The Utah Jazz back home hosting the Dallas Mavericks tonight. That series tied at 1-1.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide with deals like our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month and no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $249, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
Business people like it straight and to the point. So here it is. Bruce Jacobs here to tell you take control of your utility expenses by calling Harmon Solar right now. They can save up to 80% on that monthly electric bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Level your energy costs, protect yourself from inflation. How's that for straight and to the point? Here's more. Harmon Solar is a local family-owned company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmonsolar.com.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canyer with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
I'm an Arizona truck driver. I deliver food, medicine, supplies, and hope.
And during times of crisis, I support our communities. But every day I see people putting lives and families at risk.
Distracted driving is deadly, period. Be aware, be safe, and visit sharetheroadaz.com and find tips on how to drive safely around trucks.
This message is sponsored by the Arizona Trucking Association Foundation.
What do a 450-year-old author and a bottle of 4 times distilled vodka have in common? Let's compare Shakespeare, shall we? Shakespeare, the man, the epitome of playwriting, the OG of live theater, the standard by which all others are compared. Shakespeare, the vodka, an original Polish spirit crafted from a recipe 12 centuries old with an unwavering attention to smoothness and purity, the standard by which all others should be compared. Maybe they're not so different after all. Shakespeare Vodka is the Shakespeare of vodkas.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic is your exclusive home for the 6-time world champion Indoor Football League's Arizona Rattlers.
All right, listen up.
Tune in to The Fanatic for all the fast-paced, hard-hitting action. Listen as the Rattlers work toward the playoffs and their 7th world championship in team history.
Let's keep it going.
Arizona Rattlers football, exclusively on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. All right. Suns win, Suns lose. Suns don't play again until tomorrow. So I don't know what version we're going to get, but if Adam Silver has his way, we'll get the good version tomorrow, the bad version the next time, and then who gives a damn? I'm sure he wants the Suns to go ahead and win this in 7 because more money for the NBA. I'm not trying to start any conspiracy theories here, but you start to wonder a little bit when you see officiating this bad. And it's not just here.
Is it bad or inconsistent?
Bad. This was bad. There were fouls on, for instance, Chris Paul had a couple of plays, 2 different possessions where the Suns were on defense and he was away from the ball, just getting knocked over and not flopped, just literally run over. And one of them was Valanciunas. So I have no idea how you miss it. He's not exactly little.
It was bad. That said, again, Pelicans did play well. And the Suns, and here's the thing, cause and effect. When I was, before we went to break, I mentioned being a Colts fan, and everybody says, well, the Colts are going to lose that game to the Patriots anyway, the Deflategate game. They're going to kick their butts up and down the field. And I said, well, but here's the thing. When another team cheats, then you'll never know, will you? Because until those things are balanced out, you don't know. More than likely, yeah, they would have won, but you never know. This is a worse case. When the officiating is so tilted in one direction, what happens is you start to second guess everything you do as a player. You start to play differently because you're like, okay, well, that didn't used to be a foul. Now it is a foul. They're not calling the same stuff on us. there's a bit of confusion that goes to the coach and goes to the players about how the hell are we supposed to play this to win the game and make these people happy. And you just end up sort of just throwing up your hands in frustration. And you saw that frustration on the Suns. You saw that frustrations in Monty Williams, who went and got himself, I'm sure, a fine of $15,000, which will be announced tomorrow, for even daring to mention bad officiating. So, no, listen, the Pelicans played them tough, played a good game. Not about the Pelicans, not to take anything away from them. But damn it, we'll never know now, will we?
And you know, Monty's doing what he has to do here. You're gonna have to eat that fine, but we've seen all the great coaches do this in the past. Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, Greg Popovich. When you see that kind of officiating disparity, that game's gone. But you have to point that out and say that and put the spotlight on it for future games. And so that's what he's supposed to do as the head coach, is to sit there and say exactly what he said.
I mean, I appreciate what you're saying, and I didn't see the whole game. I just saw pieces of the game, and I read a lot about the games. I wasn't in touch, but I mean, I'm sorry. I just can't be going on about the officiating. This is the playoffs. This is the number 1 seed, and I would expect Monty to make some adjustment. Yes, okay. I'll give you the fact that it certainly doesn't seem fair. It wasn't called fairly. It sounds like the officials were getting, they were not consistent on both ways. That's why I said, is it consistency or bad officiating?
But Randy, how do you adjust to bad officiating where both teams are playing with a separate set of rules?
But if your point guard is being shut down, do something different.
Part of the reason he's being shut down is because of bad officiating.
I appreciate that. But if you're in the game, you're in the heat of battle, and you've got an official that's not calling a foul for you, but against you, then you've got to you got to do something different. Get the ball to somebody else. Make some adjustments in game and try. You can't just throw up, oh, it was bad officiating, we lost.
I don't think they did that, Randy.
Well, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that. And I'm just
in game, they kept trying to do different things and change things. But at the end of the game, you stand there and shake your head going, what the hell just happened? Because
I mean, I get that after the game. I understand what we're saying. But and I agree with you. If you can't play the officials and the other team, especially when the other team is lighting up the scoreboard. But if Chris Paul's being shut down, man, Monty and Chris Paul got to get together and they got to figure out how to get Cam Johnson involved. They got to figure out how to change this up a little bit to take the stick out of their hands and make some adjustments in game that are not going to hurt them, but help them to rise above the poor officiating.
Boomer Sooner says, Randy, it's great to have you back and hear your voice. I need a little Boomer Sooner and a cold beer, please. About 89 degrees up here, and I want to know, how much whiskey did you guys drink and didn't shoot any turkeys?
I'm not allowed to share any sort of totals.
Boogie says rutabaga is a root vegetable similar to a potato. It didn't look nothing like a potato. It didn't look anything like a potato. Tron Slater says, I'm not saying the series is over between the Suns versus Pelicans, but this I do know. In order to beat the Suns, you got to out hustle them. You got to beat them by offensive rebounds. That's their kryptonite. Going back to last year's Suns, it would not be able to do it long term because of those two weaknesses.
Yeah.
Mr.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Mr. Wilbur says Scott Foster slept with all 3 officials before the game. It's a fact. Santa's number 1 helper says, good afternoon, gentlemen. Grizzlies and Jazz had over 40 attempts as well. Compare their opposition. Senior Wake and Bake says, welcome back, Randy. Now the Suns need to stop hesitating and take it to New Orleans, win the next 2 and move on. Monty Williams needs to get fired up and stop being so damn passive. Maybe it's a light a fire under their asses.
Now,
Suns.
Monty's not a loud guy, but I didn't see passive there. He's not going to start yelling and screaming. That's just not who he is as a person, and that's just not who he is as a coach.
And who do you need to yell at? You're going to yell the refs and get teched and tossed?
Because again, I mean, you can say the Suns could have played better, and they absolutely could have, but they shot better from 3-point land slightly, and they shot better from the field, and the free throw disparity was so bad that didn't matter.
Blissel Hayes says the refs had nothing to do with the Suns losing. Pelicans simply kicked their ass. Suns need to play better defense and stop fouling so much. Blissel Hayes, did you see it with your eyeballs?
I have to only assume you're blind.
Keon's not a Suns fan. Keon is a Washington Wizards fan. I don't know why.
Me neither.
He's not watching it as a homer. Yeah, you could call me that. Sure, no problem. You could even say that about Randy, who's being very fair in what he is saying. But Keon, an impartial person, sees this with his own eyes, and it's not homerism. It's just watching bad officiating in action.
And to that point, Blissful Hayes, you got to be careful. The Suns could play defense all night long. If they're getting called for fouls, guess what? The scoreboard's going to reflect that. Guess what happened? The scoreboard reflected that because the Suns were being called and the Pelicans were not. So playing better defense, I mean, at some point you're handcuffed. You can't play better defense because, like Keon said, if you're touching somebody, you're going to get whistled for it.
And it's funny because it's great that Brandon Ingram is the guy that's going off in this series because there is a player that he plays very similarly to, Kevin Durant. And Kevin Durant is not being successful in this playoffs because the Celtics have been physical with him and they've been allowed to be physical with him. Because if you don't do that to Kevin Durant, these are open shots for him and he's going to make those. Brandon Ingram they're not allowed to touch Brandon Ingram to defend him. And as far as Brandon Ingram is concerned, and I'm giving him credit here, he's such a talented scorer. Those are open shots. He's not going to miss those.
So here's the thing. So Blissful Hayes tried to say it was a man card violation. That's crying about the refereeing. It's not crying about refereeing. It's pointing out a fact. It's just an observation of reality. If one team is getting called fouls and the other team is not, and they're both doing the same thing, that's a fact. That's not an opinion. That is an observable fact. The man card violation, listen, pardon me, what I would do, Mr. Man Card Commissioner, I tell the Suns, play him even rougher, play him even harder. If you're going to get called fouls, earn it, make them hurt for it. Because if this is the way this is going to work and we're going to get into foul trouble, make them friggin' feel it. Is what I would say.
I agree with you. That's the only other option that you have left, and the NBA has left you with only that option. And I'll also say it's not just crying about the referees to be able to count. If you go to the basket the same time or the same amount of times as the other team, and they're being fouled 30 or shooting 30 more free throws than you, something is wrong mathematically. It's just a fact.
Yeah, it's crazy, but okay. Non-Suns fans want to say, "Oh, you're whining, you're crying about officiating." Listen, if it were bad officiating on both sides, like, wait, they're letting them play rough. Oh, they're being very, harsh on their calls. But if it was going both ways, all right, okay. So now we know what we need to do. But when it's not, then it's almost impossible. 888-368-1580. Fifth later says, LOL, you so-called Suns fans crack me up. True Suns fan is going to swallow the loss and go back at it at game 5. That's playoff basketball for you. Act like you've been there before.
Well,
you're just throwing out stupid sayings.
Are you a Lakers fan?
Must be.
I mean, come on. You give me a break. Sounds like a Lakers fan. You're just kind of angry because you're not in there. And another thing, officiating becoming part of a game is BS. This is playoff basketball. Let the team play and quit calling these ticky-tack fouls.
Ralph from Harmon Solar says, how about we focus on Alvarado outplaying Chris Paul? But did he outplay him, or did the referees outplay him? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you can't respond and you don't get the same calls, is Alvarado really outplaying him? I mean, yes, he was all over him, and you got to give him credit for that. But when you're dealing with a different set of rules, the hell?
Like I said, Suns did not make an adjustment. So therefore, if they keep going to Chris Paul and Alvarado's kicking his ass, guess what's going to happen the whole game? Alvarado's going to kick his ass, whether the officials are not calling it or they are calling it. Bottom line is, make an adjustment, move the ball to somebody else.
And of course, Ralph, who's the insufferable Lakers fan, continues, says, to me, it looked like an excited, hardworking Pelicans group versus a lethargic group of Suns. I'd be concerned if I was a Suns fan. Pelicans are playing every quarter with more energy and confidence, and that's just going to keep growing. Sure. If the refs were on my team, I'd be really confident too.
And look, the Pelicans did work hard and play hard and play aggressively. But to say that the Suns were lackluster in a game that they shot better from the field, that they were doing the work of scoring off of fast breaks more often. I don't understand where this idea that the Suns were incredibly lackluster. Things fell apart in the fourth quarter for them when it was obvious that they just weren't getting calls. But early in that game, quarters 1 through 3.5, the Suns were playing hard. That was a close basketball game.
I love the sentiment that, oh, you guys just play harder. You guys are whining about officiating. Yeah, but it's like playing with one arm tied behind your back and your ankle of your left foot tied up to that arm when the officiating goes against you that way. It's just, it doesn't matter what you do at that point, good or bad. Mr. Pringle says, it's been my experience that losing teams are the teams that whine about the officials. We're not whining. We're observing and we're commenting. Here's the thing. No, you're right. Everybody is right about the following sentiment. Suns should not be in this situation against the Pelicans. The Suns should have swept the Pelicans. And, you have to think if Devin Booker hadn't got hurt, who knows where we would be right now. And yeah, this is odd because there's such a deep bench for this team, but for some reason, gee whiz, I don't know, maybe you can come up with a few. It's not going the Suns' way. So if all things being equal, you got to start looking at like that bad officiating is pretty obvious.
You're going to make accusations of whining and all that. And okay, whatever. I'm just going to sound like a broken record today. You can't outscore a team in the paint and shoot 30 fewer free throws. That does not make any sense from any basketball I have ever watched in my life. It doesn't. It just doesn't.
Fifth letter says, yes, I am a Lakers fan. Thank you. He says the only NBA fans that are blaming the refs are the Suns fans. Well, why would the Pelican fans?
Wow.
I mean, right now, why would they?
And actually, there was a game that the Sixers lost to the Raptors where they were looking at the refs kind of funny too, because that game was also lopsided in terms of the officiating. And surprise, surprise, the 76ers lost. Don't act like this is just a thing that is happening in Phoenix and nowhere else.
Santa's number one helper says, Tim Donahue has entered the chat. Boomer Sooner says, Randy forgot my Boomer Sooner.
Boom Sooner, Boom Sooner, Boom Sooner, Boomers, Suns, let's go.
Cause says, what I'm hearing from Ref Randy is refs are not to be blamed.
No,
Randy's saying you can't just only blame the refs.
I think I've been pretty fair here. I think I feel like what I saw that the Suns gave up in the fourth quarter. Monty took the core unit out, set them on the bench, giving up at the end of the game. And I hate that. I hate
Fair
it.
enough.
Hate that.
Yeah.
You don't give up in a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if the damn refs are calling everything you do wrong. You don't give up. You don't quit.
Mm-hmm.
You keep moving.
And that's where my coaching would be different from Coach Monty. Like I said earlier, if you're going to get called, make it count. I want to see bruises. I want to see, I want to see people on the floor, because if they're going to call us for every ticky-tack foul, let's just show them what a foul really is, and then see what happens.
By the way, going back to the Celtics and the Nets and Kevin Durant, the Celtics were fouling hard early, and it gets to the point where the officials have no choice but to kind of call the game on the Celtics' terms. If they leave you no choice but to be physical early and often, and they have to adjust to you.
Yep. Make them think about it. All right. We got to take a break. We'll be back. There was more than just these two Phoenix Suns games. And there's a whole weekend worth of playoff basketball that we need to take a quick look at. So we'll do that when we come back too. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Join Choices for the annual Walk for Life, May 6th and 7th at Dream City Church in Glendale. The weekend kicks off with a concert by Jordan St. Cyr. Then hear a powerful message from Dr. William Lyle, OBGYN. Admission to the concert is free with a suggested donation of diapers and wipes. Then on May 7th, join with hundreds for the Choices Walk for Life. Check-in is at 7:30. The walk begins at 9. Register at choicesaz.com/walk for your free t-shirt and all the details.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
sponsored by the Arizona Army National Guard, aired by the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Steve Jurich here. After working in financial services for over 20 years, I finally confirmed what investors really want, including me. And it's simple. All they're asking for is 20% annual return with no risk at 100% liquidity. Here's the problem. A money market is safe and liquid, but offers almost zero yield. Mutual funds and ETFs are liquid with upside potential, but aren't safe. A carefully selected next generation index annuity through IQ Wealth may offer 10% ample liquidity, principal protection, and a lifetime income yield potentially double to triple that of quality bonds. By yielding more income using fewer dollars, our system allocates more money for you for capital growth. It's a winning combination.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now, 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the claims paying ability of the insurer, so compare with Steve, 480-902-3333. Call Steve now.
Uncertain times can lead to fearful investing, which could leave you in a bad spot, especially if you're trading on emotion. When tumult opens and closes the market, you need sound advice.
Hello, I'm Mo Ansari, host of Market Wrap and president of Compact Asset Management. If fear has you in its grips, it's time to take a look at your investments. At Compact Asset Management, we specialize in providing complete wealth management solutions to help you reach your financial goals, no matter where the market goes. Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say talk to Mo for a free portfolio review. We will also discuss how we can work together to create your customized retirement plan. Call pound 250 on the cell phone and say talk to Mo, and let us help you take the fear out of your portfolio. Again, call pound 250 on the cell phone and say talk to Mo.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
If it's local, we talk about it. 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatics.
Welcome back to the Daily Blender on this Monday, April 25th. It never ceases to amaze me how the playoff action, kind of how everything changes during the playoffs. These basketball teams get out there, and a lot of conversation going on. And one thing I missed was staying up with the Suns while I was on my trip and getting a chance to lay a little money down. You can make every game feel like Game 7 of the playoffs when you use the FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. You get up to $20 in free bets if you don't win. FanDuel has so many ways to play it, all the best. And best of all, when you do win, you get paid faster than a fast break. I didn't write it. I just read it. You get paid faster than a fast break. And if you're new to FanDuel, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code Randy1580 to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code Randy1580. And if you already have an account, you're all set to bet. So either way, you get up to $20 in free bets if your same-game parlay during the playoff doesn't win. You might want to put CP3 assists. You might want to get DeAndre Ayton's, rebounds in a game. You might want to get Cam Johnson in the action, or you might take something else to build your parlay. If you don't, there's a same-game parlay builder that they have on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's easy to use, and it's very, very convenient for you. The FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Remember, you've got to be 21 or older, present in Arizona. Refund issued as a non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP, or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
All right. So there are more things that happen than just the Suns winning game than losing a game. We got a lot of games that happened over the weekend. And basically, Randy and I are going to get a drink of whiskey while Keon breaks down every single one of those games in great detail without us being here.
Excellent. Let's go.
Let's go. Well, no, you don't have to do that. Why am I doing this by myself?
To do this, which is we're thirsty.
Yeah,
whiskey is calling. So
yeah. I just think your timing is really, really bad.
I think our timing is great. I think it's astounding timing. We're talking about NBA and stuff. So, okay, well, we'll hold off on that for a second. Let's get caught up on the text line. The Cause says Suns need a Bill Laimbeer. Zone. They sure did yesterday. Cabana says at one point Suns had 2 foul shots and New Orleans had 32. Sounds fair? No. Commando Duke says NOLA will lose Zion. The NBA needs to establish Ingram as a legitimate star. They need extra games and more primetime minutes to establish him. But in the spirit of this show, Booker is already starting to experience the Kardashian-Jenner factor, maybe?
No.
Yeah, she's a Jenner. She's not a Kardashian. So I think he has avoided the curse. If it was Chloe, this would be over. It would have been over before it started. So,
and one reason why Brandon Ingram's not a star, by the way, is he doesn't say anything. He just doesn't like talking to the media or anybody outside of his teammates. I don't blame him for it, but that's going to stop him from being the more marketable player that he could be.
Boogie says, listen, guys, at the end of the day, the buck stops somewhere. Too many Chiefs ruin the soup, just like the boys will be boys. Ain't that the truth? Yes.
Sure.
Blissful Hayes says, so Jeffrey's saying the NBA is rigged, just like the NFL. I never said it was rigged. Something is wrong. I don't think that the NFL's rigged. Something is wrong. I know people have complained about officiating for forever. And I know a lot of times the complaints come from the losing side, but we have watched games. And I have seen some stuff that did go in the Suns' favor that should never have gone in the Suns' favor. The officiating across the board in sports, I don't know if it's worse or if it's always been this bad, but it feels like it's worse. It feels like the Angel Hernandezes of the world or the Scott Fosters of the world, or wait a second, how do we even know their names? We're not supposed to. If we do, that means something. Randy, did you see the strike zone that Angel Hernandez was working the other day?
Oh my God.
Did you see that?
Horrible.
Syndergaard came out and said, wow, I love that strike zone all day, every day. I'm for his strike zone forever.
Yeah. Did you see the call he made, the interference call when it was a legal, legitimate slide at second?
Oh yeah, with Andrew
McCutcheon out. That was a miserable call. Just horrible.
Usually I don't like when people confront people or outside of the game. I don't like it when those because it makes me nervous. Like people in the stands getting too friendly with people on the court or on the field. Like the things have been happening. But this one guy ran up and gave Angel Hernandez a piece of all of our minds, and it sounded like this.
Angel Hernandez, you stink, and I don't like you.
I mean, that's
about
telling
right
it like it is.
Sure. Why not?
We were all thinking it.
That was a Philly fan right there. And that game, you can't blame him. You can't blame him for that. And Angel Hernandez smiles as he drives away.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
And the problem is, where's the accountability?
None.
Do the officiating guys in New York at the league office, do they not see what's going on? And how do you hold this guy accountable?
Evidently you don't. And that's the thing.
And the NBA has a similar problem too, by the way.
It's Scott Foster.
It's hard to hold these guys accountable because it's kind of a boys club, and the league allows the referees to police the referees. Well, okay, let's allow some foxes to police a hen house. That's where we are on this.
Something just I don't know. We all understand, and if you just take out the name Angel Hernandez and just say officiating, we all feel that way. By the way, I don't like the idea of the fans confronting refs, confronting people, but wow, what a crazy scene it was at Yankee Stadium the other day. Listen, I hate the Yankees. Now I really hate the Yankee fans. They're hurling beer bottles at a Cleveland Guardians player. There was a walk-off home run, and then I guess they're celebrating, but also they were cheering when somebody got hurt. It was an ugly scene, and a couple of the players took a run trying to jump up over the outfield wall to get to them, kind of thing. And it's like that just was out of control. These are the sorts of things that That's not supposed to be happening. And I get it. A player has no business trying to crawl a wall, but do you blame Straw? Do you blame him for that, getting enraged when people were throwing things and laughing about one of your teammates getting hurt? I don't blame them for feeling this way.
No.
The fans, you saw them showering the field with empty beer bottles. And empty or not, doesn't matter. You should not be throwing. Everybody involved in that, there's video. Everybody in that section who was participating should be banned for life from that stadium.
Yeah, it was uncalled for. When Aaron Judge and a couple of his teammates have to run out there and try to quell the crowd and make them stop and quit showering. Even they were getting stuff thrown at them. So it's just uncalled for. It's ridiculous, but there seems to be this mentality nowadays, whether it's in the NBA, the MLB, the NHL, the NFL, that fans just feel like they can say and do whatever makes them happy, whatever they feel is right. There's no more moral decency among a lot of these fans. Now, let me quickly say, I think the majority of fans are still respectful to a certain point. It's okay to cheer or boo or have some fun with a guy playing for the opposing team. But the shower of profanities and then the shower of beers and bottles, somebody's going to get hurt, and it's not going to be cool.
Yeah. And so with the players being more, the players are like the same age as a lot of the fans, and it goes both ways because, before Twitter, before these things where people could just say whatever they want, people didn't think that way. It wasn't just, there was consequences. And so now the players are sort of in that same mindset. So then the players are going after the people in the crowd like they didn't do so much before. The Ron Artest thing was out of control, crazy. Nobody had ever seen or thought of anything like that before. Now, seems like it could be a regular thing. Seems like it's not a big deal compared to some of the things that we've seen now.
We talked about it last week with Kyrie Irving giving fans the bird and things like that. You got to be more careful with this because people aren't behaving the way that they used to behave, and you don't want to incite that and then fire that up. And it's kind of a two-way street. I do think that the players have to be respectful to fans who paid good money and have those tickets, but the fans also have to realize that that's not a guarantee. This is a privilege, not a right. Just because you paid money doesn't mean you get to treat players and staff, by the way, however you want.
It's easier to shut down the bad behavior of the fans if the players aren't doing sort of the same thing back. Now, I get it. You can only take so much. I understand that. But if the players were able to rise above that and not react the way that the crowd is trying to get them to, then their behavior becomes more glaringly obvious and it's easier to deal with.
Yeah, best thing Sweat could have done there, instead of chiming back at the belligerent idiots in right
he
field,
climbed.
Is call timeout. Just get the umpire's attention, call timeout, and walk off the damn field and tell the umpire what's happening. That way, then stadium security comes down there and they stop it. And that's how it stops. Then there's no more bottle throwing. If something happens in the stands, the security is there to take care of it and usher people out that want to be unruly. As a player, you cannot argue back. I appreciate that players are people too. They have feelings, but the best way to go about this is call timeout, walk off the field until the home team security gets this thing under control.
Well, the problem is when they started showering the field with stuff, the game was over. It was on a walk-off, and New York had won, which made even less sense why they were throwing things at the Guardians.
Walk off the field.
It was earlier when Quan hit the wall going after a ball, and he was injured, and people were laughing and getting to him. So then, Straw, he got a little bit upset about that, started climbing up and was telling guys off for that. He's like, hey, this is my guy. That's my teammate. One of the nicest people on the planet. And some of the things that were said to him, that's not going to fly. He needed to rise above it. But I don't know what you'd say to Mercado when he's getting showered with beer bottles and all kinds of stuff.
Just try to get out of there, swalk off, ignore it, try to be a bigger human being, a better human being than some of these animals out there.
And I don't blame you if that's a hard thing to do, but I think Randy's right. It just makes the whole situation easier.
If the players can always rise above it, it makes it easier to identify and deal with the people in the crowd. The people will go bye-bye if their behavior is shown to be that way. It's just the same thing that I always tell my kids. If you're in an argument with somebody, the person who swears first usually loses, even if they're right. So it's the same thing with how you're acting on a court, on a field, on a baseball diamond. So, all right, guys, we have to take a break. When we come back, we'll do what we were trying to do, and that was talk about the weekend full of NBA action. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Aw, you didn't have to go so all out for my birthday.
Yes, we did. Because birthdays are about showing your friends how much you care for them and how grateful you are for their. This is Jamie from Progressive. No, this is a great time. Progressive protects you 24/7. Oh, I'm sorry that happened. Jamie, can you hold on one second? I got to take this call. But remember, birthdays are about togetherness.
Contact us 24/7 on the phone, online, or on the mobile app. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, covered subject to policy terms.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Are you seeing what is going on in the home buying market right now? Unbelievable. Not enough inventory, and there is a ton of demand. Some of these homes are getting 30, 40, 50 offers on them. How are you going to stand out? How are you going to differentiate yourself from the other buyers who are in line? I have a way. Use the Lund Mortgage Team. Lund Mortgage Team is locally owned and operated with over 20 years of experience right here in the Valley. They have a great reputation, and it is a trustworthy pre-approval. And on top of that, they are quick. That's one of the things. You got to come equipped and be ready to buy. So what you need to do is make that first phone call to 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. Get that pre-approval going, and then get yourself ready to go buy that home of your dreams. Go online, lundmortgageteam.com, or call 623-875-9940.
You retire only once, so you've got to stick the landing. There are many choices to make when you retire, but choosing the right advisor might be the most important one you ever make. The right advisor can help you avoid mistakes, avoid income shortfall later in life, and help you grow your money with smarter investments. To retire comfortably, you need to know that all your bills are paid, your investments are well chosen, and your income is secure for life. The IQ Wealth Smarter Bucketing System does all of this for you by separating your money into clear and distinct buckets, each with its own specific task and time deadline. You retire only once, but Steve Jurich at IQ Wealth Management helps people retire and stay retired every day.
Advisory services by IQ Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Custodian Fidelity. Get smart and decisive in 2021. Let's meet soon. Visit IQWealth.com, IQWealth.com, IQWealth.com.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Mountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside the returned Randy White. We got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. We were just talking about how the Yankee fans just out of control, throwing stuff on the field, and how things have sort of changed. People feel more emboldened lately to get into trouble. And then it brings us to this. The protesters were back, and Keon, your theory, the Timberwolves won that game.
I don't know why, but every time a protester glues themselves or chains themselves to something or just tries to run on the floor. The Timberwolves answer the bell. I have no idea.
If I'm Glenn Taylor, I'm hiring them. Hey, get out there every time. Don't miss a game like you did last time. We lost a game. Come on. But yeah, so now this time, this was actually sort of clever, but sort of not. It had it been executed well, it could have been fun and funny. This woman actually had underneath her clothes a ref's outfit, and she was going to run out there and give the motion and toss Glenn Taylor for his transgressions against chickens, I guess. And well, she did not even get a chance to do anything because somebody was kind of keeping an eye on her. They saw her take off her sweatshirt or whatever. And, this dude was this security guy, he planted her right onto the court. And I thought, wow, is that too aggressive? And I thought, no, because you got to make a statement right there. You got to let people know you're not getting anything done if you try this nonsense, because she tried to run out right into the middle of the floor before somebody glued their hand by the basket. Some other gal chained herself to a basket. This was out in the middle of the floor and had something start going back the other way real fast. It could have been injuries.
And during the game, I mean, it wasn't during a break or anything. It was, the action was still happening on the floor when she ran out there.
She got 3 steps in the floor. He grabbed her. They tussled a little bit and then bam, put her right down on her back. And they took her away. And that was the end of that.
He looked like Buda Baker. Tracking a running back. I mean, he started moving before she did.
I hate to see a lady get planted right into the hardwood there, but as Keon said last week, you do stupid things, you get stupid prizes, and that's what happened there. She got a prize.
Yeah, I mean, it's you and it's in the, if you read the fine print and when you buy your ticket, if you do anything like that, cause a disturbance, any injury to you is on you.
Yep.
So again, they're still protesting, chicken situation. And no, I get it. If I see both sides. It's kind of hard to think about, just executing a bunch of chickens, but at least seems like, it might be a little more humane than choking the chickens. If you're going to go through and individually choke the chicken, that I think is probably worse than some smoke inhalation, because if they burnt the chickens, they were dead before they got the fire. You know what I mean? It was smoke inhalation. So I guess they just did a mass choking of the chickens that way. And which I guess is what?
Choking the chickens?
This is a horrible thing. Randy. It's not sexy. Not sexy at all. Choking of a chicken is not sexy.
Nah.
It's usually very regretful, and you immediately, regret it. So anyway,
depends.
Yeah. Yeah,
Depends.
I guess you're right. But in this case, Glenn Taylor was choking his chickens, and they died. And that's what they're protesting. Glenn Taylor choking chickens with smoke, because he set them on fire because they got the flu or something. I don't remember the facts, because when animal rights activists start talking a lot, I kind of tune out. I heard it was fire plus chicken, and I thought, tasty
dinner.
Yeah. In fact, I had chicken for lunch. My wife, she's like, hey, let's get some fried chicken for dinner tonight. And she pulls in around lunchtime. I'm like, I'm thinking, we're having this for right now. Why wait? So she made a salad real fast, and I had me some fried chicken for lunch.
There you go.
Good.
Yeah.
I don't care how they died.
I mean, not if you're eating them,
No.
So you didn't have to choke your chicken.
No, I'm married. Somebody else handles that for me. Oddly, it's whoever is working at Fry's. Hefty Lefty says, what are Von Miller's thoughts on this protest? I'm sure he's pro chicken, but then again, he'd choke a chicken too if he had to. Kaler says, did you see the second protester chicken out? She was sitting in the seat next to the lady that got tackled. Well, yeah, once you see your friend, get taken down and into the ground, you're going to be like, I think maybe I'll just stay right here. Did they throw her out too? I didn't see that part. Did they throw the other one out, or did she just like, I'm good? No, I'm going to watch the rest of the game. This is actually pretty good.
I'm enjoying the game.
I didn't see that, whether or not they tossed her out either, actually.
Mr. Pink Eye says security should be allowed to carry tasers. The girl that rushed the court, she deserved to be tasered. She got worse than a taser, if you ask me.
So I'm sitting here thinking about this, Jeffrey, and you're saying that your wife came home, and you had chicken, and she tossed your salad.
Yeah, she tossed my salad.
Tossed your salad, and
she gave me some chicken. Fried chicken. It's good stuff. Nothing like a good fried chicken and a tossed salad. Mr. Wilbur says, why do you keep playing that music? We're just talking about
it
lunch.
It just happens. I don't know what's going on.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
I don't know what that means.
Mr. Wilbur says, one night a year, a baseball stadium should allow Krispy Kreme to sponsor the night and designate a specific inning for the fans to throw donuts at the players. If I was a player, I'd hope the fans throw donuts at me.
Listen, that's a great idea. However, can you imagine the amount of cleanup that would have to happen? And then these guys are getting out there cleaning up these donuts. And if they're warm, then they start eating the donuts. You know how long that's going to take? They should have it after the game. Yeah. After the game, if you want to throw donuts, then we're talking okay, but not during a game.
Yeah, and then here's the problem. You think donuts, right? Something cream-filled, like a fluffy donut. What happens when they start throwing them apple and cherry fritters? Those things will hurt you. Those are like Chinese throwing stars. Right there.
Very angular.
Yeah. Angular. Yeah.
I like those fritters.
Oh, they're tasty.
I don't know who invented the fritter, but it's good stuff.
Like a good apple fritter.
Oh. Senior Wake and Bake says, hey, Laker fan, there's no magic in your Johnsons. All right.
So let's see. So far on the blender this hour.
Yeah.
Feels
like be that kind of day, isn't it? Donnie says, Suns are in big trouble. Yikes, howl. Yeah, listen, you guys are 2-2 as well.
Oh, my God.
The Grizzlies are 2-2 with the Timberwolves. Shut up, Donnie.
Oh, boy.
Navy Brad says, welcome back, Randy.
Thank you.
Hefty Lefty says, I, for one, love seeing fans that run onto the field or the court or whatever, the ice, and then I love to see them get leveled by security or players. I don't care if it's a man or a woman. # equality. That is fair, but it's hard though, because as a gentleman, I know it may be an antiquated thought process as your, Southwest Regional Man Card Commissioner. We're in a new age and you have to accept equality, period. It would not be fair of a woman to say, I deserve all the same rights. I deserve all the same pay. I deserve all the same. You know what you do? You're absolutely right. But you also deserve to get your ass handed to you if you run out onto the court, the field, or the ice. You don't suddenly become a woman at that moment. You're still, it should be in all equality, a person.
Target.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Person. That's exactly what I thought you were going to say.
That's just the logic of a person who's been hunting for the last week.
Yeah. So, easy.
Target.
A target.
So, I can see it that way. But it's hard for me, though. If I see a woman get hit, I'm always going to be like, no.
Well, you definitely cringed when you saw the video of the security guard, slamming this woman onto the court.
I'll still hold the door open for that wildebeest. But I mean, listen, maybe she should get plowed like anybody else that runs out in the field of play.
So you're saying to plow the woman.
Now, why am I starting to be played like Charles Barkley here? When you're banging dudes, when you're banging a guy, what are you saying the other day?
Yeah, every time
you're banging a guy, you're banging, and
Shaq was just dying. He just
you gotta feel his body. Like, oh, Charles, come on, man. All right, so shall we start talking about the other games not being the Phoenix Suns games? On Friday, the Hawks found it in them to win a game against the Heat by 1 point. And then the Bucks, they easily handled the Bulls on that. I was surprised to see the Bulls even won a game, to be honest. And so then on Saturday, the Sixers had a chance and couldn't quite get it done, but Raptors got a win. And then the Mormons stepped up and they were able to beat the Mavericks. And then the Celtics are going to sweep these guys, man. Celtics are going to sweep these Nets. That is very likely. How's that going right now? The game just started, didn't it? So I guess you don't have an update for me on Celtics and Nets yet, right?
I do. Hold on. Let me go ahead and grab that. Yeah. Celtics lead currently 10-5 in the first quarter.
It's over. Hand him the trophy. So here's the thing. Can I go back to, I'm going to give Joel Embiid a man card accreditation. Man card accreditation for Joel Embiid.
Why?
Because he's got a broken finger. Or is it? What's the injury again?
It's his thumb.
The ligament,
it's a ligament in his thumb, and he's playing through it.
Okay, we can, it don't got to be like that. A thumb to me is still a finger. I know thumb's not a finger, but a thumb's a finger. It's on your hand's a finger.
Yeah, I'm just
don't get picky with me.
I'm not getting picky. I'm just being a little bit more specific. It's
still
a finger.
You're not correct my grammar. Okay, I don't need a comma or a hyphen or whatever. It's on his hand. It's a finger.
Yeah.
Well, I to come to Keon's defense, just a little joke. When you palm a basketball, the thumb is pretty. It's pretty instrumental in palming a basketball.
Yeah, it's very important, but it's on the hand. To me, you have 5 fingers, don't you? You got 5 unless you're a Simpson. They got 4.
He wasn't trying to correct you. He was just pointing out for accuracy's sake that it was a thumb injury.
Yeah, I got people on the text line for that, Keon. I don't need it from you.
All right. I was just trying to be a little bit more specific.
How many fingers on a hand?
5.
Damn right. Anyways, Joel Embiid has got a hurt ligament in his thumb there, and he is going to need surgery. But he's like, "Oh no, we're playing. We're in the playoffs. I'm not going to get this fixed till later. I'll just tough it out."
So is it on his shooting hand? Is he on his right hand? Is he right-handed? And is it on his shooting hand? That's what I want to know.
Good question.
Because that would be wouldn't that be like a double accreditation?
Yes.
Yeah,
I will give him
on
double.
His shooting hand. It's
double man card accreditation for Joel Embiid.
Wow, there you go. Wow.
Donnie says Wolves in 6. I'll laugh so hard. I will laugh so hard. Boogie says, I don't know, plowing her seems, for running on a court, maybe that's a pretty big punishment. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's illegal. I said planting. I didn't say plow. I said planting her.
You did say plow.
Did I say plow?
Heard plow.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess you
I don't know why that happens. It just starts.
He laid the wood on her. That's what he did.
Hello.
Not like that.
There's just no good way around this, is there?
I guess there's not. There's really not. She looked vegan too, so that's not like
she looks.
There's
vegan.
nothing sexy about it. Yeah, she's pale, wispy little person with a nose ring. This is a bunch of people protesting who haven't had any protein for a while of any kind, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, it was. Yeah, it's not sexy.
any protein at all. Huh?
No, none, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Bliss Hay says the security guard pounding the woman would have made an excellent halftime show.
Oh boy.
What the hell?
Wow.
Are you talking about?
Wow.
All right, so the Timberwolves won a game on Saturday, 119 to 118, and there's a lot of similarities in some of these series, east to west. You know what I mean? It's just kind of it's a little bit odd, to be honest, to see the Heat doing what they're doing and then suffering similar sorts of injuries and incidences as the Suns, and to see I don't know. I just it's the Bucks. It just. You know what I'm saying? There seems like a lot of similarities in some of these series, east to west and whatnot, and stuff where you're like, whoa, that doesn't make any sense. And then you start to maybe get that conspiracy theory going a little bit, if you know what I mean.
I know that the series that are 3-1, the way that they flowed, they kind of look alike. And the series that are tied up at 2 apiece right now, they kind of look alike as well.
Yes. Just kind of, I don't know. I'm not. Yeah. Okay, it was bad officiating for the Suns last night, but I'm not going to say this is a conspiracy that is far-reaching, goes across the entire league, and that sort of thing. I ain't going to say that.
I am.
I ain't not going to say it, but I ain't going to say it. But you're going to say it? Go, yeah. Okay, Randy, go ahead and say it.
It's rigged. The NBA is rigged. And if you guys don't think that I am correct on this, just look at some of the officials that have come forward here. I mean, just look at it. There are things that have happened, especially to my Phoenix Suns, especially my Phoenix Suns. That how can you not see that it's a conspiracy?
Did you say it's a Nazi conspiracy?
It is a Nazi conspiracy.
Oh my God!
Very quickly,
which is really surprising because Adam Silver, but it just doesn't make what.
I didn't say Nazi. You made that up, and I
said
how
Nazi.
can you not C.
No, that wasn't that long of a pause, to be honest. You said it was a Nazi conspiracy.
No, I didn't.
It must be unbeknownst to Adam Silver because he wouldn't stand for that. So, as we have discussed, the NBA, then there's the NBA Refs Association and the NBA PA. So it's their own individual. Maybe the Refs Association, it's a Nazi scheme. Maybe the Nazis are trying to make a comeback through officiating NBA, NFL, NHL, and Major League Baseball. It's going to be very...
They all do wear uniforms that are similar, do they not?
There's going to be a hell of a movie made about this.
They all make loud noises when they're making calls, do they not?
Well, just a whistle, basic. No, it's just a whistle.
No, there's the balls and strike calls. There's the foul calls, which is a whistle, and then that was a charge.
I don't think that
it's like a hand chopping thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
You see, I'm not too far off base here. I don't think this is too ridiculous to imagine.
I don't think it's a wholly German thing, but it very might be a Nazi conspiracy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
There was somebody on the plane yesterday that said they traveled to Germany an awful lot, and this person looked like an official.
Okay, we've really got to look into this. There's going to be an investigation.
See what I mean?
I've got some questions for Tony Brothers.
Yes. I've got a lot of questions. And maybe we'll need a German interpreter.
Won't you like it?
Angel Hernandez, really? Angel Schneitensmieters? More likely. Angel Hernandez does not look Hispanic, does he? He looks like he's from the fatherland. Scott Foster? Foster is clearly German.
German.
See, it starts like this. It starts like this.
It does.
And next thing you know, we're at war.
Yeah. It's a small wave, and then all of a sudden it's a big roaring giant tidal wave, is it not?
It's the 50s. There's a bunch of Nazis around a table in Argentina. How do we get to them? I don't know. We have to come in very, very sneaky. You like football? This could be a movie. I'm not even kidding.
I'm telling you.
Copyright 2022. Jeffrey O'Brien, take my idea and I'll sue your ass. I think I'm onto something.
You could be.
This
could be the greatest thing you've ever discovered, Jeff. Go.
I really was looking for some good breakdown and analysis on some of these games from Keon, but I guess we're not going to get that.
I mean, we got derailed so hard.
What are you talking about? I think you and I just broke it down. We just uncovered a plot to take over the world.
We got to get some video. We got video of Angel Hernandez leaving the arena the other day. I'm sorry, leaving the stadium, and this guy started yelling at him. Can we play that again? This guy yelled,
"Hernandez, you stink, and I don't like you."
Yeah. He drove away. What I want to see is some video of him walking away. Because if they walk like, if they're walking with a special kind of gait.
Yeah, sort of a goose step kind of feel.
Just saying. Something to keep your eyes on.
Something's happening here.
Something is happening. All right. Well, we got to move on to other things. And we come back. It's time for 4 quarters with Keon Rose. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Traffic.
Right.
This wagon commute is killing me. You mind if I turn on your old radio?
Oh, this song again. I swear they play the same 3 chants on every station.
At this rate, it's going to take a fortnight to get to work.
Well, just be glad you don't need to fill up. I mean, have you seen the price of hay?
Throughout history, people have always hated to commute. That's why Monster lets you search work from home jobs. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
This is Aaron Warby, host of the Bulls and the Bears Radio Hour. In the show, we try to teach the tools, rules, and strategies that traders and investors need to do better with their wealth and portfolio income. But most of the time, an hour is just not long enough. At Online Trading Academy, we believe that the average person should be given the tools, rules, and strategies that Wall Street's elites have been using for years to outperform others. Are you one of the millions that have recently established a trading account? Or have you always wanted to trade or take a more active role in guarding and growing your own wealth, but have not had the know-how or confidence? We want to invite you out to a complimentary 3-hour power trading and investing workshop, where you'll learn what it is that the professionals use to limit their risks and maximize their possible gains in both trading and investing. To register, call 84-48-TRADER. That's 844-887-2337, or text the word stocks to 25029. Again, that's stocks to 25029. Reserve your seat now.
Hey guys, it's Stephen McCollum from the main event here on 1580 The Fanatic. And join me 1 to 2 p.m. Monday through Friday. Suns Game 5 is Tuesday night. We preview and predict. We look back at Monday night's NBA playoff actions. Can the Nets stay alive as well as the Raptors? NFL draft starts Thursday. A lot of misinformation is out there. Let's see if any truth is available. So join me, Stephen McCollum, on the main event Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. on 1580, 99.3 FM, The Fanatic.
Distracted driving is dangerous, Arizona. When you pick up your phone to send a text message, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to take a call, you're putting lives at risk. When you pick up your phone to check an email, you're putting lives at risk. And now, when you pick up your phone while driving, it's also against the law in Arizona. Don't get a ticket. Don't pick up your phone. Sponsored by Arizona Chapter, National Safety Council, and Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
The Rams were built to win the Super Bowl. The Los Angeles Rams have won Super Bowl 56. But if you think that brought the end of the NFL season, you'd better think again. The NFL is a year-round beast, and we keep you in the know. Free agency, trades, retirements, hirings, firings, holdouts, injuries, training camps, and a whole lot more. Football is always in season here. We are 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. Your home for football.
Today's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. All right, so we meant to do some breakdowns of NBA games over the weekend, and we got completely and absolutely and utterly derailed from that. So I don't know, maybe this will help get us back on track. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for 4 quarters with Keon Rose. All right, Keon, get us back on track talking some NBA, my friend.
All right. Well, we did have a big, loaded weekend of NBA basketball, but of course, the Suns, the win Friday, the loss on Sunday. I think that's going to occupy a lot of it. So we'll get to the first quarter. I know we talked about this a lot, but let's go ahead and just get a definitive answer here from everybody. First quarter, did the Suns lose on Sunday because of officiating?
Not completely, but it was a factor. That's the shortest answer I can give you.
Randy?
I would say, same as Jeffrey, I would say the Suns were not up to the task. They're the number 1 seed. They should have played better and should have made adjustments. But yes, the calls against them did hurt them.
I'll go ahead and give a ratio here. I'll go 60-40. Officiating impacted the game, but 40% is still an awful lot left for you to control. And as much as there was a disparity, that they did outscore the Pelicans in the paint and still ended up shooting way fewer free throws, they were once again out-rebounded and they turned the ball over more.
If I were Coach Monty, I would have said, I choose violence.
Oh, that would have been really cool, but I think that also might tip your hand a little bit. I don't know how much more physical they're going to come out, but if there was one adjustment I would like to see Coach Monty make, I think that would be one. But let's go ahead and get to the second quarter then and sort of figure out what the Suns can do, because of course game 4, it's in the books, it's over. Let's get to game 5. What can the Suns do better in game 5 to allow themselves a chance to win this game or win this series?
I think that the Suns need to make some adjustments where CP3 is concerned. Obviously, what's his face? That Arredondo, or what's the guy's name? Anyway,
Alvarado.
Alvarado. You got to take him out of the game, and so by doing that, you've got to get the ball away from CP3, move the ball around. And I think that they also need to rebound, and they have got to stop the turnovers, man. They've got to quit it with the turnovers, because that's killing them.
Well, Chris Paul got himself good and pickpocketed. Yeah, turnovers are always been a killer, Randy, but what I saw was an awful lot of missed open shots. They got to shoot the open shot a lot better, and probably wouldn't hurt to slip the refs a few hundies. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. There you go.
I think that the Suns have to shoot better as well, but I'm going to say shoot better from 3-point range in particular. I did say that they shot better than the Pelicans from 3-point range, but 7 of 27 is not great. They're going to have to shoot a whole lot better than that, especially since during the regular season from 3, they did shoot the basketball better than that. They're going to have to rely, I think, on that a little bit more to make up for the lack of scoring that you don't get from Devin Booker. So that's the improvement there. Third quarter. Let's go and just take a look at the Eastern Conference and a look at a former Phoenix Sun, Steve Nash, the head coach of the Brooklyn Nets. They are currently in an 0-3 hole in their series against the Celtics. And by the way, they're currently losing 27-19 with 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. So they could potentially wind up being swept. They are the only team right now of all the teams that don't have a single win in the playoffs. So should Steve Nash be fired if the Brooklyn Nets get swept?
Yes, but no. Okay, so yes, this team should not be on the verge of getting swept in the playoffs. This is ridiculous. No, he was always going to be a figurehead coach in that building. You know that. This was a super team. It was supposed to be a super team, and he just had to stand there like a bunch of LeBron's old coaches used to have to do. With this team that they had, he was just a guy standing there, getting some on-the-job training, but you were never going to hold this against him. Maybe you got to think about the GM.
Randy?
I think I'm sort of on the same track as Jeffrey, although I don't know that Steve Nash is a figurehead coach. In my opinion, I think he's worked with these guys. They respect him, and there's not a LeBron, sort of situation there in Brooklyn. But I think where I do agree 110% is, Steve Nash does not have the experience. A great ball player, 2-time MVP, did wonders for the Phoenix Suns, and I loved it when he was here. But I think this is showing his inexperience as a NBA coach. This is a learning experience for him, and he'll have to take this and do some studying and grow from it.
I tend to agree with where Randy's at on that when it comes to the lack of experience is starting to show. There have been no adjustments from the Nets at all. I mean, Kevin Durant's getting beat up, but guess what? That's playoff basketball. That happens. You do have to figure out a way. And you do have multiple guys that you can go to. You do have a Kyrie Irving who's capable of scoring the basketball as well. There's got to be a way to get these players some easier, better looks. There's a reason why, even though they're down in their series, the Hawks were able to win a game, and the Raptors were able to win a game, and the Nuggets were able to win a game. There are adjustments that are being made across all of these series. And the only team that's not making any adjustments at all, why, it's the Brooklyn Nets. And it looks like they could potentially be swept here tonight. So let's go ahead and get to fourth quarter.
On the hot seat.
On the hot seat. Okay, that threw me off a lot. I don't even know if I can say, but oh my God.
On the hot seat.
That was a ref.
Yeah, that's true. No seat hotter than that when a Nazi ref is coming for you. There's not much you can do. So let's.
And maybe you'd like to make the free throw.
Well, if you'd let us shoot some, that'd be nice. So here, let's get to fourth quarter.
All right.
And it's going to be back in Phoenix here with the Suns. Is there a player, and I'm going to put Chris Paul to the side because we all know he has to play better, but is there a player outside of Chris Paul who has to play better for the Suns to win game 5? Randy.
Frank the Tank. Oh, wait. Never mind.
I think that from what I've seen so far in the series, I think Cam needs to loosen up and not have so much pressure on. I think he's going to be the key for this offense to start to really fire. He has got to come off and be more relaxed and more a part of this game plan, and be able to just shoot his shot and not worry about all the pressure of trying to pick up where Devin usually fills in. I probably can't.
Didn't hear a lot of DeAndre Ayton's name the other day. I know he had like 23 points or something, but he seemed a little quiet in all in all that. Probably because he was scared of getting the fouls and stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like here's all of them. And Monty's got to make some better adjustments. I can't pick out a single player when you haven't made any kind of real adjustments. So Yeah, I mean, all of them. And let's get some. Let's see some better coaching.
Yeah, I think that's true. You've got Monty Williams, who should win Coach of the Year, but there were
I hated
stretches.
saying that about him too.
Yeah, it stinks to say, but there were stretches of that game, and quite frankly, stretches of this series where Willie Green has been out coaching Monty, and that Alvarado putting him on Chris Paul, I think, was a huge adjustment for Willie Green and the Pelicans. And so now Monty's going to have to find the counter, which I understand is going to be tough. I know he wanted to go to Campaign a lot, but he's got Campaign in the second unit. Maybe bring Campaign into that first unit a little bit, because he was playing with some fire when he did get those minutes. But I'm going to agree with Randy and say Cam Johnson, he looked really tight. He missed 2 wide open layups when they were down 5. That would have brought that game within 1 point. And I want to see him be a little bit more loose as well. Because he's knocking down open shots, from 3-point range. But when he has to go to the basket or it's a fast break and he's by himself, can't miss layups, dude. That's just unacceptable and not going to be conducive to helping you win.
Right.
That's 4 quarters for this past weekend in the NBA.
Big George says, "Whoop, this was a close one, but after careful consideration, I think Randy won this edition 4 quarters with Keon Rose. Keon was thrown off in the 4th quarter. Jeffrey was looking good, but then he gave a wishy-washy answer in the 3rd quarter about if Steve Nash should be fired. Well, hold on a second. I'd like to file a protest. That was a fair and considered answer, not wishy-washy. He says, but
fair and considered.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wishy-washy about saying that Steve Nash is there to be a figurehead. He's at the very least there to be an incredibly player-friendly coach.
He says, yes, but no is not an adequate answer on 4 quarters. So Randy was consistently strong throughout. Nice job, Randy.
Boy, my first win. Thank you.
I don't mind Randy getting the win fair and square, but I will file a protest for your reasoning on the 3rd quarter question. So that's disappointing for me. I like to say there might have been some bad officiating on that.
Boy.
Thank you, George. Blissful Hayes says, it has to be the ref's fault that the Nets are losing 3-0 at the series, right? Oh, no, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right, Blissful Hayes. I'm glad you finally see it our way.
I just think in that series, though, the officials have been
refs
incredibly consistent both ways with how they're calling that. It's
really, really bad for the Nets, though. Poor Nets.
It is, but the Nets are not playing as physical as the Celtics are. But when the Nets have played physically, the officials have allowed them to do it.
Mr. Pringle says Steve Nash just needs to hire Jason Richardson as an assistant coach. Bruno Baller says, look like the Bucks and the Celtics will match up in the next round. That could be very good series right there. Oh, absolutely right. Absolutely. We'll see which way the refs go with that, though. So that's the biggest factor, I think. Moist One says, why does everyone say Monty is soft-spoken? I remember him being annoying as hell on his radio show. I shouldn't have read that. Different Monty, Moist One.
Yeah.
Different Monty. 888-368-1580. So, all right, Keon, go ahead. This is we got a few minutes. All right, your thoughts, your notes on the weekend, on the games on Saturday and Sunday, outside of the Suns. Anything jumping out at you? I mean, minus bad officiating. What's really jumping out at you with these guys?
Well, what's kind of jumping out at me is that I think that the Nuggets actually had, I think, the ability to make this a much better series, the series that they're in with Golden State, but they adjusted, and it seems a little too late. Now that you're down 3-1, you're gonna have to win 3 games in a row to beat Golden State. And
it's happened to the Warriors before.
It has happened to them before, but with this particular configuration of this team and the way that they are playing, with Draymond doing what he's doing on the defensive end and being that point center, and then Steph is shooting well, Clay is shooting well, and Jordan Poole is just consistently amazing. And he's another guy, him and Alvarado with the Pelicans. Those 2 guys were in the G League last season, Alvarado was in the G League this season, and those guys that have to claw their way back up from the G League, there's something different about those dudes when they finally make it. There's an intensity there that I appreciate. But I think that the Nuggets could have made this a series had they been able to make some of these adjustments of, let's get Jokic out of the post where they're doubling him more often and have him leading the offense from the top of the key. That they could have made that adjustment much sooner. And maybe this could have been a better, more interesting series. And Joel Embiid is a boss. That's the other observation that I really have.
Yeah, he's
with the injury.
Mm-hmm.
But he's not just playing. Yeah, like Baker Mayfield was toughing it out in the NFL season. He was playing, but he wasn't playing well. Joel Embiid is playing well with an injury on his shooting hand, and that is absolutely
cortisone
impressive.
is my friend.
I'm sure it is.
So the thing about the Warriors is, and I hate to say this, but they're just so damn fun to watch. Even if they're blowing out the Nuggets, it's so fun to watch that team and to see Poole doing so well. And it's not like the Nuggets are just getting steamrolled every game. They're putting up a fight. They are fighting, and they're losing, but they're fighting.
It's the closest 3-1 series I've ever seen.
Yeah, absolutely. So every game is exciting. Every game is fun to watch. But then there's that thing in the back of your head going, "Oh God, I hope we don't have to face these guys because they are really on fire right now." But hell yeah, fun to watch. King of Kitten says, "I have a leak in the drip line. I got to dig it up. I got to fix it so I can water the bushes."
Nice. I hate when I get leaks in my drip lines.
Please beer me. It's hot outside. Was it 100 today? Was today the first 100 degree day?
I did not see an official 100 degree registry.
I made the mistake of walking outside. And I was like, "Oh, the hell with this." I went right back in. That was a huge misjudgment on my part.
Mm-hmm.
Number one Rattler fan says, "Well, the Rattlers have won 6 championships, lost 7 championships, and two of those 7 then were directly on officiating errors." True story. Look it up. I would if I could understand what the hell you're saying.
He's saying that 2 of those championships were caused by poor officiating.
2 out of the 7 were. Okay, gotcha on that, Rattler fan. Yeah, it's just one of those things when you see it, you can't help but notice it, and it's not fair to say, "Nope, tough it up." When it's that egregious, it makes your job impossible, and the job is to win. Big George says, "Your protest is noted, Jeffrey. It will be taken under advisement. You'll make a compelling argument. Expect a ruling in 30 to 60 days. Wait, why do I got to wait 30 to 60? That seems ridiculous.
I don't remember what we did last Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to remember 2 months from now?
See, that's
Big
what he's
George.
doing. He knows I'll forget in 30 to 60 days. I'll probably forget in 30 to 60 minutes. That's just George. I just got lawyered. That's what that was.
Yeah.
Yep. That's exactly right.
King Kitten says it's currently 98 degrees on his patio. So yeah, it's hot outside.
Patio's
All right,
an
guys.
official weather station. Okay.
We got to take a break. When we come back, if Randy is up to the task, if the Doppler has been powered up and is ready to go, he'll give us a weather forecast. And we've got more of the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down, forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
Market Wrap host Mo Ansari on creating a well-balanced portfolio.
Are you just chasing this hot stock and that hot stock? Or do you have a plan? Do you have a balanced portfolio where you have a little bit in healthcare, a little bit in technology, a little bit maybe in energy even? How much do you have in the subsectors like communication services and technology? And then you look at all the stocks within those areas and say, okay, this is the one I like and this is the one that I don't like. But you have to have that balance. And then finding the right balance depending on what you're trying to accomplish. If you're looking for income in your portfolio, maybe you want more dividend paying stocks, or I've got 20 years, I want growth.
If you need help creating a well-balanced portfolio, call pound 250 and say, talk to Mo, or go to compact.com and click on the Get Started button. Again, from your cell phone, call pound 250 and say, talk to Mo, or visit compact.com and click on the Get Started button.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor, funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA, SIPC.
Everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. Now, we've seen interest rates go as low as we've seen them in years recently. We've also seen them bouncing around. A lot of uncertainty of what is going on in the loan game as far as mortgages are concerned. That's why I lean on my friends at the Lund Mortgage Team. They have been in business for 20 plus years here in the Valley. They only lend in Arizona. They are trusted. They'll get you that reliable quote. And if you're thinking about refinancing, whether it's to just lower your rate, maybe lower the terms of your rate, maybe down to 15 or 20 years, or if you're like, hey, we got a lot of debt on the side, we got some problems going on, we want to consolidate debt, or I've always wanted a pool. Now's the time to do it. Take some of that equity out, refinance, and get things done around your house that you want. But you got to use the best in the business. That's the Lund Mortgage Team. 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or check them out online, lundmortgage.com.
1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Live and local.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I don't know if we should ever have this sort of power that number one Rattler fan is giving to Keon right now. I don't think any one of us, with great power comes great responsibility.
Yep.
So this is what number one Rattlers fan says. He says, ask Keon what I should have for dinner tonight, and I'll go with whatever he says. Thank you, gentlemen. You know my answer. But you go ahead, Keon. You go ahead and make a dinner suggestion for number one Rattler fan. If you say Wagyu, that's just mean. Keep it reasonable in the price range. I'm not saying number one. He looks like he probably has a ton of money. But let's just be kind. And whatever your dinner suggestion doesn't include gold flakes in it, that kind of weird stuff.
Boy, I recently had a burger from BurgerFi.
BurgerFi?
Yeah. And
like FI or PHI?
FI. And it is a fantastic burger. I really enjoyed that.
I want to start a competing place called Burger Foo. Burger FU. I'm going to make a lot of money. Copyright Jeffrey O'Brien 2022. Steal my idea and I will sue you. All right, sorry about that. So BurgerFi, where is that?
It's in Tempe. I cannot recall the cross streets off the top of my head.
So there you go. Burger FI, Rattlers fan, somewhere in Tempe. Hey, Keon's drunk most of the time. So I imagine it's in walking distance from your place.
It is. Yeah.
Jesus, I was just kidding.
It is though, but I don't walk it because I'm lazy.
I find it surprising that Keon did not say some sort of ramen food.
Yeah, a lot of ramen.
Well, ramen and throw some stuff in there, and
there is a ramen place called Kung Fu Ramen. It's also very good.
Burger Foo should be next to ramen food.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a missed opportunity.
Number one Rattler fan says BurgerFi. Great call, buddy. By the way, I do have a lot of money. I figured you did, Rattler fan. Excuse me. 888. Okay. Somebody else talk, because I got a cough.
888-368-1580 is the text line. Your voice is important. The most interactive radio program in the universe, the Daily Blender. And now, ladies, here comes, he's getting a drink of water now as we continue on this edition of the Daily Blender. Yes. What? I could just go ahead and do this right now if you want me to.
Weather forecast be great.
From the 1580 The Fanatic Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Randy White back in action. It's a warm one out there today. We're looking for a high of 93 or so. There it is. West Valley, 93 degrees currently. 92 in downtown Phoenix, 91 in beautiful Scottsdale. Looking for mid-90s all week long with a possibility of dipping into the triple digits. Overnight, though, it should be just plain beautiful. Low to mid-60s overnight. Oh, my gosh. Air quality currently good. UV index around 2 right now. It's a dry heat at 4% humidity. And like I said, it's in the 90s, low, mid to 90s right now, depending on where you're at. From the 1580 The Fanatic Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White, back to you, Jeff Coop.
I hope so. Wow. I didn't think that was going to stop. That was weird. Allergies are really bad right now, aren't they?
Yes.
That's what this is. A little post-nasal drip going on there.
On the next weathercast, we'll do a pollen count for you.
Mm-hmm. We have to count all the pollen.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a highly sensitive, it's a very scientific thing. Very
Seems
scientific.
like that would take an awful lot of time.
Well, we have machines to do that, and Radio On allowed me the opportunity to get a pollen counter.
Mm-hmm. Like a money counter that just goes.
Well, he asked the same question, but no.
Fair question, I thought. Hey, so Miguel Cabrera is now the first Venezuelan born player to reach 3,000 career hits. 3,000 career hits is just impressive no matter what country you're from. I guess for some reason that needed to be in the headline about him being Venezuelan born. But I guess, be proud of it. But yes, so he finally got it done, even though, the other day, the Yankees decided to be douchebags about stuff and intentionally walk him and then lose a game rather than let him get his 3,000th hit. But still, he has achieved it. And, that's a heck of a milestone, right, Randy?
Yeah, it really is. 3,000 hits at the top level of baseball. Absolutely. And he's done it well. I remember back in the days when he was skinny, before he got into the food truck business. He was quite the hitter back then. And seriously, all kidding aside, and he's a nice dude too. I met him one time, just kind of in passing. Very nice dude. Very nice guy.
So we do need to mention what the heck happened with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Again, it's a Saturday, Sunday thing. Well, Saturday was great. I was thinking of telling Keon to text Bruce Jacobs about his Mets getting their asses kicked by the Arizona Diamondbacks. But I'm glad I didn't, because they won the series 2-1.
Yeah.
But at least for one nice day, the Diamondbacks were able to beat one of the better teams in baseball, I think, right now, is your New York Mets. So that was good. And then, of course, Diamondbacks went back to normal on Sunday. And it was funny. The headline said Mets beat sloppy Diamondbacks. But the day before, just was like, Diamondbacks cool off Mets with a victory. It's like, well, what about them being sloppy? Well, I got to point out sloppy Diamondbacks. They were sloppy on Saturday. What the hell? Seemed unfair. So, I saw the power rankings for Major League Baseball. Is it too early for that? Is it too early for power rankings?
I think power rankings, unless they come from, Major League Baseball itself. Other than that, I think they're just, it's just a clickbait. It's just discussion fodder is all it is.
Well, here, I'll give you the basics, at least, of what CBS says. Dodgers are at number one. For what they've paid, they better be.
Yeah.
The Mets, with one more win than them, is in second. And then you got the Giants, the Blue Jays, the Cardinals, the Mariners, the Padres, the Yankees, the Rays, and the Rockies. That's your top 10 on the power rankings, according to CBS. And hey, at least Diamondbacks, you are not in the worst place of the power rankings. The Diamondbacks are actually in 28th place on those power rankings.
Ahead of who?
The Washington Nationals are 29th, and the Cincinnati Reds are 30th.
Wow. And I'm very thankful for Cincinnati.
And we are very thankful for the Washington Nationals.
By the way, Keon, reminds me, I was getting updates on my trip there. I'm very sorry about what my Diamondbacks did to your Washington Nationals.
Yeah, I mean, the Nats, got won both games in the doubleheader, and the Diamondbacks returned the favor and looked better doing it. Because the Nationals won one of those games 1-0. The Diamondbacks put up a lot of runs in both of those games.
Yeah,
it was hard to watch it. I was watching the second game, and I had to turn that off. That was brutal.
Sorry. Hey, where were our way too early World Series predictions? Do you have those somewhere? Because as I look at these power rankings, I don't see my team on here. I don't see. I think I said, the Braves are looking good this year.
Randy went Dodgers.
Dodgers. Chasing chalk.
You went White Sox. Actually.
Oh, I said White Sox. I think you said Braves then.
No, I said Blue Jays.
No, you said Braves.
It's
fine. You said Blue Jays,
it's right there.
White Sox aren't in the top 10 either.
Fine, damn it! I said Blue Jay. Fine.
Beer Bob says, Jeffrey, what were you sucking down during your coughing outburst? That looked like a pouch of applesauce. Yeah, I was trying to coat my throat. Now you can hear I have coughed my voice raw. I don't know what. I just ate some M&Ms during the break. Maybe I inhaled a piece of like the little shell or something. It got stuck in my lung or my throat. Yeah, I guess this is what I'm going to sound like. I'm going to sound like that girl at the end of the bar at 3 a.m. Hey, sweetie, I'll go home with you. Well, it's because I'm homeless mostly, but I'll go home with you. Hefty Lefty says, welcome back, Randy. Hope you had a fun time scaring them turkeys. Too bad you couldn't scare some talent back into Angel Hernandez, though.
Oh, boy. How about Angel Hernandez, huh?
Angel Hernandez, you stink, and I don't like you.
I mean, that's all that needs to be said.
Well, you couldn't scare something back into somebody that never existed there. Angel Hernandez has never had what you would call talent. It's draft week in the NFL, guys. This is, an exciting time for the NFL, except for this is not going to be an exciting draft, is it?
It's going to be a very exciting draft if you look at positions outside of quarterback. If you're interested in receivers, oh man, offensive linemen, edge rushers, that there's tons of those.
What I mean is my Colts don't have a pick. Cardinals are picking late. Your team, you're going to blow it anyway. So it's not an exciting draft.
Not if they draft Kyle Hamilton.
Okay. Are you going to do a mock draft? Because on this show, we always mock your draft, meaning we don't do mock drafts because nobody's ever right. It's just the same thing as, March Madness bracket. Nobody's ever right. But, since you have, credibility in such things, Keon, we are more than prepared to mock your draft as you do your mock draft.
I can come up with the draft tomorrow to be mocked.
Well, we'll do that on Thursday.
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, are you going to do a mock draft?
Hell no.
Me neither.
Yeah. I don't do that.
We've always mocked everybody's mock drafts.
Oh, Jeffrey. Oh, boy. I missed that.
So Vegas thinks they know what's going to happen with their version of the mock draft. They're called odds. Mm-hmm. And Trayvon Walker has now become the betting favorite to go as the first pick. How do you feel about that, Keon?
I like the pick. Trayvon Walker is really, really damn good. I'm a little surprised because of how high everyone has been on Aiden Hutchinson throughout the entire draft process. Mm-hmm. Him being number one, or potentially the offensive lineman Akeem Ekwonu. But no, I mean he's such a talented player. Trayvon Walker, I could see it. He's got all of those traits, and I do think that there are a handful, 3, maybe 4 guys you could potentially look at as being the number one overall pick.
Trayvon Walker's odds are minus 155. Aiden Hutchinson has fallen to plus 150. Akeem Ekwonu is good plus 600. Kayvon Thibodeau is plus 1,800. Evan Neal, a lot of people are kind of thinking position-wise, he could be something, and he's at plus 1,800, and you can't completely count him out. I'll tell you, I think if I'm the Bengals, oh boy, I'm doing something to get Evan Neal. And by the way, on FanDuel and DraftKings, Randy, for both you and I, Walker is the new favorite there as well. So,
because I mean, we know that Georgia had a tremendous defensive line last year, won the national championship and the whole 9 yards. But part of the problem has been figuring out which one of those guys is the guy that really got that defensive line going. And I think the more scouts watch, the more they're coming up with Trayvon Walker being the main driver of that Georgia defensive line.
But if you are the Jaguars, you need some better protection for your long-haired quarterback. And I'm looking at Trayvon Walker. Yeah, he's a beast of a defensive end. Aiden Hutchinson, beast of a defensive end. Of course, tackle Akeem Ekwonu might not be a bad idea, but I almost feel like Evan Neal at tackle, that might be what the Jaguars need most.
It could be. I think the issue with being the Jaguars is that you need help in so many departments. That
their defense wasn't so bad.
Their defense wasn't so bad, but their defensive line was not great. They had some good stuff in the secondary, and their linebackers are pretty solid. But if you have a chance to get a generational edge rusher, I don't think you necessarily pass on that. But it depends, because every team has their own value. So some teams may have offensive line as more valuable than edge rusher, and other teams might have that the other way around, where they simply value getting to the other quarterback more than protecting their own.
When we come back, there's all sorts of other little stories and nooks and crannies and things to watch out for. Misdirection, absolute lies as we get ready for the draft. If there's a player out there who's of any value that hasn't been traded yet or picked up, watch for that on draft day. When you hear a GM saying this, that, or the other about this guy or that guy, he's full of crap. We got a lot more, little bit of draft hints, things that are starting to develop that might give you some insight on how this draft is going to go on Thursday. We'll talk about that more when we come back. Other assorted things too. I'm going to go drink a bottle of honey and try to get this thing figured out. It's the Daily Blender. Here on 1580 Fanatic, Hour 3 is coming up next. I'm okay.
Only Wendy's serves a better breakfast with a better biscuit. Our hot buttery breakfast biscuits are loaded with a fresh cracked egg, cheese, and your choice of bacon or sausage. And right now at Wendy's, they're only $1 each.
Wendy's breakfast biscuits, just $1.
So don't take a chance with those other guys. Bet your buck on a better breakfast with Wendy's bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating Wendy's. Offer only applies to bacon or sausage, egg, and cheese biscuits. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction and per person per day. Not valid in a combo.
We're on a mission to connect every Arizona service member, veteran, and their families to the support and resources they deserve, to make sure that there are no barriers to the benefits and services earned through service to our country. Find out how we can assist you in Arizona. Visit connectveterans.org or call 866-4AZ-VETS right now to learn more. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veteran Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
Medical data brought to you from Summit Male Medical Center. Over half of the guys over the age of 45 have some type of erectile dysfunction. If you fall into this category, you are obviously not alone. Don't worry about it. Do something about it. Call Summit Male Medical at 480-398-1000. Let our Arizona licensed doctors and all male medical staff using FDA-approved medication help you enjoy your life again. We guarantee it. Low testosterone? Common signs are muscle loss, irritability, weight gain, decreased libido. Our testosterone therapy will turn you around. Discreet, professional, and we are successful. Don't let getting older get you down. Call today, 480-398-1000. That's 480-398-1000. Or go to summitmalemedical.com. What are you waiting for? Call today. 480-398-1000.
500 apiece, you get that 5 for 500 2 apiece, 1 minute, 150.
The best weekly auction is right here in Arizona. It's only a click of the mouse away from great deals on almost everything. Visit liquidateaz.com for weekly auctions on everyday household items, antiques from around the world, sports and non-sports cards, memorabilia and autographs, comic books, comic character collectibles, Native American, pots, jewelry, rugs, and sterling silver. Liquidateaz.com weekly auctions is the place for great deals and works of art, gold and silver, coins and U.S. currency, gold and sterling jewelry, vintage LP vinyl records, vintage electronics, ham radio, RC cars, planes, and boats. Interested in antique clocks, watches, and timepieces, or a wide variety of sports equipment, including hunting, fishing lures, poles, and gear. How about military collectibles, medals, uniforms, or helmets? All at liquidateaz.com. Looking to liquidate an estate? Liquidateaz.com can help with estate sales and consignment services. Liquidateaz.com for information.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third hour.
All right, people. people, settle down.
Because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. Broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. I mean, I got a Jolly Rancher, and my voice has still gone all shot to hell, hasn't it?
Yeah.
My little coughing fit, probably not going to sound normal again until tomorrow. That's kind of weird.
Maybe.
Big George says, "Oh no, Jeffrey's having an allergic reaction to the M&Ms. Can't believe your voice can change on a dime like that from choking on an M&M." Nah, I don't think that was it. It had nothing to do with the M&Ms. I think just whatever the coughing fit was just scratched my voice box, and that's gonna be the way it's gonna be for a minute. So doesn't hurt, just kind of aggravated. And now I sound like what singer sounds like that with the raspy voice?
Betty Davis eyes.
Betty D.
Yeah, who was that? Yeah, that chick.
Pretty sure she's dead, so I don't know.
Could be.
I don't remember the song though. You remember the song, Keon?
I don't.
Kim Carnes.
There you go. Yeah.
Boy, I had to reach back in the old files for that one.
Well, that hurt. You got to pucker up to get that one. 888-368-1580. So before we went to the top of the hour break there, we're talking about the upcoming NFL draft.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's less exciting for me. I have no first pick in the draft for the Colts. Cardinals pretty deep down on the list there. But Keon's telling me there's some exciting players coming out of this draft. Of course, we all talked about the odds on Trayvon Walker, Aiden Hutchinson, Akeem Mekwanu, Kayvon Thibodeau, Evan Neal. But who are some other really exciting guys that you see that might go to a team like, the Arizona Cardinals, or maybe deeper down for the Colts in other rounds and stuff like that? What kind of players you think might be a little underrated, Keon, that we should keep an eye on?
Well, a guy that's being mocked pretty low, that surprises me, is Nakobe Dean, the linebacker out of Georgia. Had an awesome year, really great at stopping the run, but he can also play in space. I honestly thought this guy was going to be like a top 15 pick, but I see him down in the 20s very often. A player I see getting mocked a lot to the Cardinals, David Ojabo, the edge rusher. He's been awesome, and I would love to see him as a Cardinal. I think that would be a fantastic pick by them, and a guy that I think is polished enough. He could come in and start to contribute right away. And as we've mentioned many times, you lose Chandler Jones, you're going to need to figure out how to replace that kind of production. David Ojabo is big, strong dude, simply moves people on pure strength. If you could add some technique to what he's got, it would be incredible.
So there's two ways of looking at any kind of a draft. One, are we taking the absolute most talented guy, no matter what, in the draft, or are we filling a need? Are we going to go ahead and fill a need? How much does that taken into consideration when you do a mock draft? Some of these other experts do mock drafts. Are they focused on, oh, this guy's so good, you got to have him, or this is the specific need this team has, and this is the guy they should fill it with?
It really just depends on how you have certain position groups graded. For instance, if you need a running back and you're picking in the top 5, it's not smart to take a running back at 5, because that is a position that you can find elsewhere. You can get really talented guys in the second round, sometimes even in the third. So even though you need it, if you want a running back that bad, then you have to trade back. That's really where it comes down. If you want a position specifically very badly and they're not the most talented guy on the board, you need to find a trade partner and move back to be able to get that without using draft capital, and see if you can get to, some other pieces as well. That's where that comes in. But if the best player on the board is available, if there's a guy that's just a freaky athlete or somebody who is incredibly productive, some players are just too good to pass up. Like, yeah, okay, we've got 3 of those, but that guy's awesome. So if we take him, we'll figure out how to flip some of the guys we've got already, but we're not going to leave the best player available on the board. Depends on the guy.
888-368-1580. Good Cats on the text line says, Blender Crew, what the hell is up? Welcome back to the Blender Emperor, Randy.
Thank you. Good to be back. Happy to be here.
The Emperor. I'm the Emperor. You're not the Emperor. I'm the Emperor.
Right.
Hefty Lefty says, the real question is on everyone's mind, where is Dicker the Kicker going? Over under on round 6.5.
I mean,
is there really a kicker out there named Dicker?
His name is Cameron Dicker.
You got to be kidding.
He was at the University of Texas.
Yeah.
He's an awesome kicker. And yeah,
he'll go high in the draft based on name alone.
Just name value. And he got the nickname, Dicker the Kicker because of the Gus Johnson call when they won the Red River rivalry his freshman year. He made the game-winning kick, and of course Gus Johnson was screaming into the mic, Dicker the Kicker, and it always stuck. And I'd love to see him be just in the NFL doing good things so that I could just hear that name from time to time.
If I didn't have Rodrigo Blankenship the specs on the Colts, I'd want Dicker the Kicker. Randy, you've got to want Dicker the Kicker.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Everybody wants some Dicker the Kicker.
Yeah, and he's a Longhorn, so.
Big George says I'm starting to sound like Patty or Selma from The Simpsons. Thank you. Let's see. Boomer Sooner says I think her last name was Carnes. Yes, it was Kim Carnes.
Kim Carnes
right now. All right, so here's some stuff going on. The Panthers, they're not going to trade for Baker Mayfield before round 1 of the draft, is what they're saying. Well, where are the Panthers in the draft again?
The Panthers, I believe, are drafting 6.
2, 3, 6. Okay.
Right.
They could get the quarterback that they want there, right? I mean, is there somebody ahead of them that's likely to take a quarterback?
No, they can choose whatever quarterback they want to get if in fact they want one. And if they do, it's going to probably be either Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis.
Who should it be?
I think you go Willis.
Yeah.
He's just so much more physically gifted.
Plug and play.
But yeah, and he can show up day one. And if your offensive line's not great, which theirs is okay, he's got the mobility to make plays happen, to extend plays with his feet. And he's got the arm strength that, if anybody ever breaks open. And the other thing is that a lot of teams like his personality, like him as a guy with a high work ethic, and a high character guy. This is a person who was giving food to a homeless guy at the draft combine, was being recorded on camera and didn't know he was being recorded on camera. It was just some person across the street. And he didn't just give the food to the homeless guy. He was sitting there talking to him, and stuff like that is okay. You put this guy in a locker room. Is he going to be a leader of men from day one? Malik Willis can do that.
Yeah, it certainly would look that way. So Malik Willis, Kenny Pickett, are they the only quarterbacks worth a poo in this draft?
They're not. They're just the least risky of the bunch. Malik Willis is less risky because of his tools, and Kenny Pickett is less risky because of his production and his consistency and his accuracy as a passer. Everybody else, there may be a quarterback in this draft that we're going to look back later and go, man, somebody should have drafted, Sam Howell or Desmond Ritter.
And these guys are going to go in like the 3rd or 4th round too. You're not going to see a whole lot of quarterbacks going until like what, round 3? You think?
I think you're going to see some of them in 2. I think you're going to probably see Howell in 2, and maybe even Ritter in 2. But then you've got that next tier of guys that are going to probably be 3rd round guys and beyond, like Bailey Zappi out of Western Kentucky. A lot of people like him as an athlete. The decision making is not great.
All right, so Doug Peterson says the Jaguars better be right with the number 1 overall pick. Well, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, but you have the number 1 overall pick. No one wants to draft a bust, but I think that the Jags are going to be fine at that position because they do have guys who are very talented in positions that they need. They could go with the offensive lineman Neal or Ekwonu, or they could go with the edge rushers. And I don't know that there's necessarily a wrong pick to have out of that bunch of guys.
Well, in his situation, it doesn't end up being the absolute best person. It needs to be what you need.
especially the way the Jaguars have been lately. Although I don't want to give them any help or any advice. They're in my damn division. I hope he picks a kicker. He should pick Dicker the kicker. Let's start a hashtag Dicker the kicker Jaguar. Come on, Doug Peterson. Come on, show us what you got. You need to pick Dicker the kicker. Dropping the soap says there was a kid in our grade school named Richard Liquor. You can figure out what we used to call him. We also had a substitute teacher in high school with the last name Hoff, and his first name was Jack. I'm not making this up. When he wrote his name on the chalkboard, he always used to say, "Hold the jokes." Hefty Lefty says, before the Wilson trade, I was really talking myself into thinking Carson Strong could be NFL ready after a year of being a backup. But then I didn't have to lie to myself anymore because we got Russell Wilson. Senior Wake and Bake says, Wilford Brimley called Jeffrey, says, slow down with the sugars or you might get diabetes. Just a couple of M&Ms. That's all. I just had a couple of M&Ms.
I think that was just an excuse to make you say diabetes.
Diabetes. Big George says, what about Khalil Tate? Which team will be drafting him? Well, I guess the USFL or XFL. They need backups, I guess. Just pretty much it there, yeah. Duke Tobin. Duke Tobin with a lie. I don't view Bengals as having immediate starter needs. Please. We need an O-line worse than anybody has ever needed an O-line before, Duke. Are you out of your mind? Of course you have a need.
I know
your guy got sacked 178 times.
They did go out and try and address the offensive line in free agency. They went and got Lyle Collins from Dallas. That should definitely help.
Bengals, every single position in the draft. O-line. I
think those tackles are fine. I think Jonah Williams has been really good and Lyle Collins is awesome. But from guard to guard, that you could replace all those human beings and be better. I mean, it's just that their guard play and the center, the middle of that offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah, don't stop drafting centers and guards. You just every single one trade up for one. I just keep doing what you have to do to protect Joe Burrow. Oh, it was cute the first year. Oh, it was kind of cute the second year after he had been injured and he came back and he took a tackle, never complained. But eventually, one of those hits is going to end him. You've got to protect your quarterback. You went to the Super friggin' Bowl. You need to protect the quarterback.
Yeah, if you want to find a good spot on that offensive line to replace, I'm going to go left guard Quentin Spain. But you know what? Just take the from guard to guard. Just replace them all.
Yeah, like was in the original Mission Impossible. I want these guys manning a substation in the Arctic. Mail them their clothes. That's it. I want new guys across the line. That's it. Everybody, every single person
was awful. So there's no way you can tell me that they don't have any immediate needs. Doesn't make any sense.
Needs. We all have needs. My Colts. They need a quarterback. They need it. And I don't know how the hell we're ever going to get one. Matt Ryan is going to keep this team at least, a winning team and maybe even get to a playoff. And that screws us in next year's draft. And I don't want them to ever tank, but let's face it. If you can't go get a good quarterback in free agency, you got to go to the draft. And I trust Chris Ballard to find some good stuff, but are there 32 good quarterbacks next year, Keon?
I mean, no. I mean, we know this. There wasn't 32 good quarterbacks a year ago. Sam Darnold started games. Cam Newton, returning from the dead and literally looking like a corpse, started games. So no, we don't have 32. You could make the strong argument. We don't have 15. There's 10 guys you can bank on. That next group of 5 you could win with. And then there's everybody else. And that's where you're trying to get out of. And Matt Ryan might be in that group of 5 guys you can win with. That's
what the hell are the Colts supposed to do? Watch, Matt Ryan will retire next year. What are the Colts supposed to do to get a good quality damn quarterback up in there?
Either find somebody in the later rounds where Matt Ryan hopefully is there for
like a Sam Ellinger.
a couple of years. Well, I mean, you gamble on some guys and try to find somebody.
He was 6th round, but still.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to find a good quarterback or quality quarterback in the 6th, most likely. Okay, there's only one Tom Brady, but in the 2nd round, 3rd round, there could be somebody there. And again, this is the draft of the wild card quarterback. If you like a guy in the 2nd or 3rd, I say scoop him up. If you need a quarterback, and try to develop them while Matt Ryan buys you some time.
We need a quarterback in the 1st round.
And well, unless you're willing to give up a lot to trade to go get one.
This year. Next year. Don't I have a 1st round pick next year? Are you telling me I don't have a next one? God damn you, Carson Wentz. What did you do to us?
No, you do have a 1st rounder next year.
Thank you.
If I recall correctly.
And where it will be positioned is completely up to Matt Ryan. 888-368-1580. Hefty Lefty says, history says the Colts need to draft 1st overall to get a good quarterback.
It's true.
Ryan Grigson,
yeah,
son of a bitch. If you hadn't have killed Andrew Luck, I'd have Super Bowls right now. Sun Devil Niner says Indy needs Jimmy G. Shut up. Senior Wake and Bake says that happened to Murray. They rung his bell, which became less Murray scurrying and more him falling back and getting killed. King of Kitten says, I bought a 12-pack of Miller High Life this afternoon.
Congrats.
Jealous. He says no, since 1903. That's 120 years right there. It's the champion of beers. I'm sorry, champagne of beers.
Champagne.
Hefty Lefty says, and hey now, that corpse was dressed perfectly for high tea with the Queen.
Well, he did have the hat and scarf for it, so sure.
Anyway, so Chris Ballard is now downplaying the Colts' interest in getting a quarterback. And he says, oh, these stories just get leaked by agents. No, listen, the Colts should absolutely be interested in drafting a quarterback, even if it's trying to find a way to move up for Malik Willis or Sam Howell or for anybody. Anybody that would be decent. This is such a weird place to be.
Well,
a kind of winning team will never get a 1st round pick.
Do you need a quarterback this year, or do you want to go fill a need with this draft? A wide receiver, an edge rusher, a linebacker, an offensive lineman, something else that you might have a need for.
Randy,
because
eventually,
this year, the quarterback stock is not.
I'm not asking for this year. What I'm saying is Matt Ryan being there in a good way and a bad way hurts our chances of getting somebody good in the next draft.
Well,
so and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I want my team to be a winning team, but how will we ever get a new good quarterback outside of free agency?
Well, that's where trading up in the draft. If you're going to go draft, then you trade with another team and move up into the draft where you think you can land one. But I would say this is not the year for it.
I'm not asking him to do it this year. No, unless you can really nail it. Unless you really know. And even between Malik Willis and the other guy, are they worth going that far out of your way for?
No, because they're gambles too. I mean, they're the least risky gambles that this draft has. But they are gambles, and I mean more so than quarterbacks, because it's a 30% hit rate. For NFL
you know what they are?
teams.
You know what they are, Keon? This is going to just completely nail it for you. Ready? They are Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota.
Oh boy,
I sure hope not.
You see what I'm saying? It was the same kind of feeling with these guys. They were
it's that feeling in retrospect, because Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota were being talked about at the time like they were slam dunks. So that's in retrospect, these guys could be them, but we were wrong about that draft too.
Lacrosse guy says straight up Matt Ryan for Kryler and Dingleberry. Would I want Kyler Murray more than Matt Ryan? What would you think, John?
With that offensive line?
Yeah.
I mean, he'd never be touched. That's he could stand there as long as he wanted to.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you had to take Cliff with him, that's
I don't want Cliff.
No, that was the proposed.
Unless they say no, you have to. Damn it, we'll go with Matt Ryan. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, let's talk some more NFL outside of the draft. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Heads up, sports bettors. Right now, you can try VSiN All Access free for 30 days with no credit card required. Visit vsin.com/free month to sign up now.
NBA playoff basketball coming up on Tuesday night. 3 games on the schedule. Suns and Pelicans. That series is even at 2-2. Phoenix sitting as a 6.5-point favorite. The over-under has been set at 215.5. Also, the Timberwolves will travel to Memphis to take on the Grizzlies. That series also even at 2 games apiece. Memphis sitting as a 6-point favorite. The over-under at 232.5. And the Hawks and Heat will play in Miami. Miami leads that series 3-1, so a potential closeout game. Miami favored by 7, over under 217.5. For the latest odds all the time, visit vsin.com. I'm Matt Pauley on Arizona's sports betting station, 1580 The Fanatic.
If you're an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits and the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs. Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with 0 down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
We're on a mission to connect every Arizona service member, veteran, and their families to the support and resources they deserve. If you or someone you know needs assistance with benefits, health care and wellness, employment, or housing, visit connectveterans.org or call 866-4AZ-VETS right now to learn more. This message is brought to you by the Arizona Coalition for Military Families, the Arizona Department of Veterans Services, and Arizona's Be Connected partners.
As we plan for our retirement, there are 4 questions we need to ask ourselves or our retirement planning advisor. How much? How long? How safe? And what cost? Let's start with how much. That is, how much income we think we'll need each and every year for the rest of our lives, including all the activities we want to enjoy during our retirement, like travel, recreation, and entertainment. Plus the cost of housing, including repair and maintenance, taxes, insurance, and utilities, as well as the cost of healthcare, including expenses not covered by Medicare.
Enjoy safe, secure lifetime income of 5 to 9% for life, depending on age and deferral period, with no fee deductions and no annuitizing. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so let's compare free in Scottsdale. For more, visit iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com, iqannuity.com.
We just can't help it. We have to do it. It's in our DNA. At 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, we have to bring you the most epic moments in sports.
NCAA football, NASCAR racing, Arizona Raptors football, golf, Vegas Raiders, March Madness, NFL playoffs, the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we can't help it. We are 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. It's time for an NBA playoffs update. Keon, all right, fill us in on the Celtics and the Nets, and of course the Raptors and the 76ers started a little bit ago.
The Nets, they're fighting back, but they're still trailing at this exact moment, 62-54, with 9 minutes left to go in the third quarter. And then with 5 minutes to go in the first, Raptors-Sixers underway. Raptors leading the Sixers right now, 16-12.
All right. That's a surprise. 888-368-1580. Heavy Metal Maniac says, Miller High Life is so bad, you have to call up the champagne a beer. And we all know how bad she campaigned case. What?
Huh?
What?
It was coherent, and then it just fell apart at the end.
Kind of going there. All right. So the NFL owners keep passing resolutions that affects the broadcast. Randy, while you were gone, they approved 3 football games on Christmas Day. From now on, you'll have 3 football games on Christmas Day, much like you have 3 games on Thanksgiving. And how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm sort of excited about it because the only option on Christmas Day is generally the NBA,
mm-hmm.
and I'm not a big NBA guy. But it seems to be a big day for the NBA. The NFL now is wanting to monetize Christmas Day. They want to make some money that the NBA has been making for years. So I don't know that it's bad. It might be bad for the players depending on where Christmas Day lands during the week.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to kind of screw up some teams. I don't know how they're going to do that as far as the schedule goes.
That's right. It's a special Christmas Tuesday night football. It just, I guess it would just depend on the days, huh?
Yeah.
Well, now they've come out with another day. They say that they've passed a resolution that could lead to a Black Friday game on Amazon Prime. So we'll have all those games on Thanksgiving, and then the next day, which actually is not the worst thing. Just, the wife is out there shopping, spending all the money, getting all the Christmas deals and stuff. You're sitting there watching a football game. Not bad.
Is it only on Amazon? Is that the deal? It's only on Amazon?
I believe so. They're trying to get everybody used to it. In fact, they're like really trying to push the Thursday night football on Amazon thing. They're trying to get everybody comfortable with the idea that you're going to have to start streaming some of that stuff. In fact, I do believe it's only going to be on Amazon at some point, if it's not already. So, that's the eventual transition from over-the-air broadcast to we're watching everything on internet. I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years. How far do you think we're out, Keon?
I think it's got to be less than 10. A lot of these streaming services come built into the TV that you buy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have it and you sign up for the service, you can stream things on Amazon directly from your TV, never even think about your computer or your phone at all.
Problem is, not everybody's internet is equal. You know what I'm saying? Randy and we had to shell out a crap ton of money just to have enough bandwidth to sound as bad as we have lately.
Mm-hmm.
So we're paying a crap ton of money for like a gigabit, a gigabyte, whatever. And, still it's not great. So some people just regular internet, it's gonna be all kinds of lag and problems. And that's the thing is whenever you have a lower form of internet and you're trying to watch something that's streaming live, they have something called latency and lag and whatever. And the next thing you know, you're like a minute and a half behind the rest of the world. And so as you're watching, you bling, notification, touchdown. What the hell? Oh, God dang it. And that will mess up your enjoyment. And it'll especially affect sports bettors who are doing in-game bets.
I don't like the whole streaming thing. I think it's, have they not made enough money yet that they now have to put it behind a paywall somewhere where you've got to pay another subscription to watch football? I don't.
Right now, Thursday night football is free if you have Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not behind a paywall. It's just on something most of us have. Most of us have at least Netflix and Amazon. Some people have more streaming services because they've cut the cable and they no longer have either Cox or DirecTV or Dish or whatever. People are balancing those things out and a lot of times in a more affordable way. So right now I'm waiting to find out, is it official? Do I have to get Apple TV to get is that this year or next year, by the way, that it's supposed to go to Apple? I keep getting excited about, oh, geez, they're going to move this off of DirecTV. Then I read, oh no, but for this year, they're still there. So I don't know if this is for this year, they are still here, but I don't have to get another streaming service, but I guess we're gonna have to pay for something.
It would be next year.
Okay, so that means I still have to make my call in August. I'm unhappy with the service, and unless you give me DirecTV's Sunday ticket to talk me into it, I'm out of here. They're like,
one last ride.
Yeah,
Mr. O'Brien, you don't have to sound angry. We told you to do this next year. Okay. Yeah. Heavy Metal Maniac says, what will sports bars and restaurants that show games on television, how are they going to stream Amazon in the bars? Well, we have done remotes at some places that already do stream some of their screens rather than having it on cable or internet. So some already do. Here, how? They have to get a crap thick chunk of internet to feed 10 20 screens, and I'll be honest with you, I feel like they'd always be better off using a satellite for those things. But if you want to have the Sunday ticket, they're all going to have to stream to get it, it sounds like. The other part of that is, even though it'd have to be an Apple thing, wouldn't they kind of be shooting themselves in the foot if they didn't have it out there somewhere?
Yeah, I would think that in some manner, some way, sports bars or business establishments that want to buy a terrestrial package will be able to do so. I can't imagine they're going to make these guys stream it internet. I don't know that there's enough bandwidth available at this point in time to stream all of this to all the businesses around the country that do it every Sunday.
King Kitten says, when you say most, that's more than 50%. Most people do not have Amazon Prime. Well, yeah, what I meant was most people I know. Sorry. Sorry. I don't know many people. Hey, Randy, I shared a password with you for Hulu. Did you ever use it?
Not yet. No.
My wife, I turned on something for Hulu. She's like, the hell's this Randito thing? I said, no, that's Randy. I shared the password with him, but he's not used it.
Well, I haven't yet.
She looked at me and she went, letter Kenny? I'm like, yeah. She's like, shook her head and walked away. So he says this Christmas thing's not forever. For Christmas 2022, Monday, Christmas 2023, there's going to be 3 games. Not going to be a Wednesday Christmas football. The article he read, the NFL dude said it messes up the schedule too much to play on Christmas Wednesday that late in the season. So, King of Kittens, thank you for that, friend. Hefty Lefty says there's no such thing as enough money for a giant corporation. Time to head to college campuses to stream games. Luckily, they're all running T3 internet to handle hundreds of devices at once. Well, don't you need a password, or is that all just open? There's going to be a bunch of fat bastards tailgating in the like in the parking lot of like the home ec building or something.
Yeah.
Big George says, well, unfortunately for those of us who don't have DirecTV, we have another year of NFL Sunday Ticket being exclusively there. I can't wait for NFL Sunday Ticket to be available to everybody when it moves to Apple TV Plus. But is it really? Because I got to pay for DirecTV to access the Sunday Ticket, and then I got to pay for Apple TV to access the Sunday Ticket. So you're still, it's as available as you want it to be.
See, I've got the Amazon TV, the Amazon Prime, Fire TV or whatever.
Sure.
I have that, but I don't have the Apple TV Plus. I don't have that.
Well, if you want to watch those games, you'll have to download it, and then you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
See what I mean?
It's $5 a month right now.
That's cheap. One of the cheaper services too. Well, right now.
Well, it is right now. But I mean, let me go ahead and get my ESPN Plus and my Disney Plus and now my Apple Plus. And pretty soon I'm shelling out $300 and $400 a month just so I can watch TV.
Wait. Do you have Disney?
No.
I was going to say, because if you have ESPN and Disney, you already have Hulu. I don't want my Pam password back. You don't need it. It's a package deal.
I do not have the ESPN Plus.
Oh, okay.
It's the principle of the damn thing.
Right.
And I do not have the Disney Plus. They have enough damn money. And I don't have the Hulu. I have one thing and one thing. And I have Discovery Plus because my wife loves Discovery Plus. And that's about it. I don't like to shell out, 80 simoleons a month when I was trying to cut the cable.
It's a lot of plus.
It's amazing the way that this worked out, because the joy, or at least the brilliance of streaming early on was, hey, look, it's all of your shows in one place. You can pay less money for it. And then once all the companies figured it out, all the companies started using their right to take their shows and movies back. And now you have 17 streaming services.
Exactly.
And if you want to watch something, you got to more or less have them all.
Based on my calculations, says Big George, $4.99 for Apple TV Plus is a lot cheaper than what you pay for DirecTV. Yeah, it is at the moment, but sorry, my dog, get out of there. You don't need me on that. Sorry. Soon, the Apple TV Plus will be $20 a month. And then whatever they charge for the Sunday ticket might be more than me getting it for free after I say, by golly, I'm not paying these prices, that whole sham. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what it's really going to turn out to, but part of me thinks maybe you're right, George, that this could be, cheaper in the end for me, but it's Apple. Apple charges a ridiculous amount for their phones. What makes you think they won't charge it a ridiculous amount for Sunday ticket?
That's the fact of it. And look, it's not just Apple. It's all of these corporations. All of the people that have Netflix know every year Netflix is like, hey, what if we just bump this up a couple more bucks? And they know you still want to watch all your shows and movies, so you pay the extra couple of bucks, and they just sneak it up year after year. That may end up happening with this too, where 3 years from now it's not going to be recognizable, but 10 years from now you're going to look at this number and go, how the hell did it get here?
Tiger Paws says, my main television in the living room is not a smart TV. It is really old, but it's big, so I'm going to be screwed for watching it in the living room. I'm going to be limited to tiny little TV in the kitchen and the one in my ex's bedroom. With the NFL ticket, I could usually scroll between 6 games automatically with 3 TV sets going. How's that going to work with this thing? Well, Tiger Paws, what Randy was saying is they got these little things at Amazon called Fire Sticks or whatever. You plug them to your TV there, and if it's an old TV, you plug that thing into, I don't know, like your DVD player or some other device to just pass it through. And then from that, you could do all those things. So, but I'm not going to tell you how to live your life or nothing. The Jet says, hello, gentlemen. Welcome back, Randy. My buddy owns a bunch of sports bars here in the Valley, and they're all scared with Apple TV coming for their sports programs. They're going to be charged a lot of money to make up the difference for you and I to get the package. That is also going to run up the prices when you go to the restaurant, as now the restaurant has to recoup the prices for that as well.
Yep, that's right. This thing is getting out of control. It's getting out of control, and nobody is doing anything about it.
Good Cat says, Jeffrey, I'm glad to hear you no longer sound like Janis Joplin. It has kind of smoothed out here after half an hour. Tiger Paws says, no, I got a Fire Stick on the one in the kitchen. I don't know if it'd work with the 25-year-old television in the living room. Yeah, you kind of need a USB port to do that, don't you? Yeah. King of Kittens, thank you. Ukla Lamont says, what internet do you have, Radio Pal? Earthlink? Hi, Keon. Hi, Randy.
Hi.
What's up, Ukla?
Fish Tank says Christmas on a Sunday this year, so shouldn't everybody be playing? Yeah, I think you're right. Fighting Wampa says they want to make it to the NFL was also talking about having a game on Black Friday. I already just said that. Let's see. Senior Wake and Bake says Cards need to fire Dingleberry, bring Sean Payton back, and pick up Mayfield. Think about that big improvement.
Mayfield?
Baker Mayfield, yeah.
No.
That's what Robbie Anderson said, but with less O's.
The Jet says, I had a Fire Stick in college, but after 7 days and some medication, that went away.
Hello.
Hefty Lefty says, time to bring back the Blockbuster. That's right. Once the cost of the internet and the streaming apps combined go north of $150 a month, those DVDs and $4 a night, they're going to look pretty appealing now, aren't they?
Yep.
Yes. No. Blu-ray isn't that the latest? Blu-ray?
Yep. It is the latest and greatest. Yes.
Yeah. King Kenton says, wait a minute. Tiger Paws, X's bedroom. What's up with Tiger Paws? All right.
Ooh.
I don't know. We could ask her. I mean, King Kenton, you can't date every female listener that we have. Okay. King Kenton spent a little time with a Fed fan, and now he's got his eyes set on Tiger Paws.
Who we haven't heard from Fed fan lately.
Yeah, she's been kind of quiet lately. Hope she's doing all right out there. Is there some big tennis thing going on we don't know about?
Not
she's a big Warriors fan. I know that. So yeah. Hope she's doing okay. All right, we must take a break. When we come back, we have Big George's sports history, and we've got some Wheel of Sports stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Did you know that Constructors Bonding has been Arizona's leader in surety management for over 40 years? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than anyone, anywhere. Contractors, developers, attorneys, car dealers, and hundreds of other industries turn to Constructors Bonding for their bond solutions. Call me personally at 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution for better bonding.
Learn how thousands of smart homeowners are investing about $1 to avoid expensive home repair bills. John, a former non-customer, said, "My air conditioner broke and I had to spend $1,900 to fix it." Jeff, a customer, wrote, "My air conditioner broke and I got a new one at no out-of-pocket cost." Mary, a former non-customer, wrote, "My heating system stopped running. I had to spend $3,000 to get a new one." Lisa, a customer, wrote, "My heater stopped working. I got it fixed at no out-of-pocket cost." For about $1 a day, you can have all the major appliances and systems in your home guaranteed fixed or replaced with HSC's home warranty coverage. Call now, and the first month is free. If the lines are busy, please call back.
800-657-5714. 800-657-5714. 800-657-5714. That's 800-657-5714.
If you're age 62 or older and own a home, this message is for you. Reverse Rob here, Money Radio's expert on reverse mortgages. Learn how to tap the equity in your home and increase the quality of your life by earning tax-free income while protecting your other retirement assets. Join us for our free Second Saturdays webinar every month to learn more. This is not too good to be true. All you need to do is reverse your thinking. Call me today, Reverse Rob, to learn more at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Does your company need bonds? Hi, this is Dave McKee, president of Constructors Bonding, inviting you to learn how our team can deliver better bonding than any competitor anywhere. Our relationships with every major surety get you the credit you need fast, and we never stop working to exceed your expectations. Call me personally at 602-432-5929. That's 602-432-5929 to learn how Constructors Bonding is your solution to better bonds.
Now you can be the guy who eventually gets bits and pieces of NFL news.
Or you can get the whole story when it breaks.
The NFL is always in season here. We're 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Home for the NFL.
Come on. It is the final segment of a Monday edition of the Daily Blender here on 1580 99.3 The Fanatic. And you know, the playoffs, we were talking about that just a bit. The basketball playoffs, they're starting to heat up here, and you can make every game feel like Game 7 on the FanDuel Sportsbook app, an official partner of the NBA. Now, throughout the playoffs, all customers can place a no-sweat same-game parlay each week. Like you could take, CP3 gets more than 10 assists in this upcoming game. And then you got Cam Johnson is going to scorch the Pelicans with a 20-point game. And then you got DeAndre Ayton is going to have 18 rebounds. So there's your parlay. That's your same game parlay. Put that together. You lay down, up to $20, and you can maybe win. And if you don't win, FanDuel is going to hook you up with up to $20 in free bets. FanDuel has so many ways to play. And best of all, when you do win, you get paid faster than an NBA fast break. If you're new to FanDuel, just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Sign up with promo code Randy1580 to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. And once again, that's promo code Randy1580. And if you already have an account, well, you're all set to bet. No sweat. Either way, You get up to $20 in free bets if your same game parlay during the playoffs does not win. I think I'm going to make that parlay I just told you about. I think I'm going to access the FanDuel Sportsbook, and I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make that parlay I just told you about. Good. I mean, maybe it'll be the stimulus to get Cam Johnson on fire, on fuego for the Phoenix Suns to go ahead and take command of this series against the Pels.
Make the bet and text him the bet, email him the bet, phone him the bet, mail it in the regular mail,
right.
FedEx him the bet, and maybe that will be enough to inspire him to greatness.
Well, yes. I mean, if the guys on the blender are betting on it, I better go out and perform. Anyway, FanDuel Sportsbook, an official partner of the NBA. Remember, team, you've got to be 21 or older and present in Arizona. Refund issued as non-withdrawable free bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Max free bet, $20 per week. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342. I'm gonna do that. I think it's a great thing.
Do it.
Yeah.
Do
All
it.
right.
All right. Random texter says biggest sports story of the year if the Suns lose the series to the New Orleans Pelicans. Is that the biggest sports story of the year if it happens? No, it's not the biggest sports story of the year. Biggest disappointment of our year as Phoenix fans. Yes.
Yeah.
But biggest sports story overall for this year?
I don't think so. I mean, obviously you had the whole Coach K farewell tour. That was, I would say that's probably a bigger story if you just look at it nationally.
Super Bowl.
Sticking with college basketball, the Jay Wright retiring. That's a really big story. There are other, and of course, all of the quarterback movement that we've seen in the NFL. So I wouldn't necessarily say that this is the biggest story, but it would be for us, and it would be incredibly disappointing.
I think Stafford getting himself a Super Bowl the moment he walks out of Detroit, I think is a bigger story than that.
Yeah.
And who knows what happens in the next 6 months, but it will be the biggest disappointment in Phoenix of this year and a lot of years, I think. Especially building up to that after last year, that disappointment. I mean, at least in that disappointment, it was a hard-fought battle. You got to the finals, and you're up against Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks. So that was really no shame. There's no shame in losing that. It sucked to lose it, hurt to lose it. Man, fired us up for this year to win it. To go out to the Pelicans, oh, man.
Yeah, that'd be difficult.
As good as the Pelicans have played, it's still a 1 versus 8, and it's not going to look good.
The Jet says, I want to hear from Keon. Well, I guess, Randy, you and I can just go now. We just
all right. Well, see you, Keon.
Adios. He says, who wins the series with the Pelicans and the Suns?
I'm still taking the Suns. I still think they haven't played like it now, but I still think that's the better basketball team. I still think that's the team with the better coach. And as I said earlier, they have 2 home games left if the series were to go the distance, and the Pelicans have 1, and the Suns have played well at home.
Now I want to hear from every texter but the Jets. What do you know? See how it feels, man? Halfy Lefty says, wow, the Nets have no answer for Tatum. The guy is hitting some Kobe-esque shots right now. Celtics are up on the Nets by about 10 points. Raptors are hanging in there a bit ahead of the 76ers right now. But, looks like we're going to get to say bye-bye to the old Nets, huh?
Which is bizarre in this game because the other games, the Celtics were able to contain Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's playing really well tonight. It doesn't matter right now. Jason Tatum is guarding him and doing some damage reduction there. And then on the other end, he is putting up some unbelievable shots and making some unbelievable plays.
The Jet says, sorry, guys, but I know he's not biased towards the Valley. He's from somewhere else. Well, here's the thing. You got to give me at least credit. When it comes to talking about my Colts, I'm very realistic, and I'm pretty damn accurate about predicting how a season's going to go. I'm not a homer. I'm also not a homer for the Suns. Right now, as we are sitting here 2-2 in this series, Jet, I don't know what's going to happen next. I think I think it's going to be the Suns, but I'm not so very confident. It's going to be a fight.
No, it absolutely is. I mean, you have two teams playing almost on equal footing. I mean,
which is ridiculous.
Very ridiculous. The end of that game 3, that fourth quarter, was very intense. And then game 4 picked up where the game 3 left off.
So, Jet, you can trust that Randy and I would, be even keeled. Well, except for when Randy does his picks for the Cardinals. He's not very even keeled on that. But when I say that the refs were a huge factor in that loss for the Suns, I'm not saying that as a homer. I'm saying it as a person with eyeballs. And I would have said that if it was the other way around. We would be sitting here saying, wow, I'm glad the Suns got that win, but the officiating was horrifically unfair towards the Pelicans, and we don't blame them for being upset. Yes, we think the Suns still would have won the game, if the officiating was even, but man, that was bad. I think you guys need to trust us that we're not those kinds of people, that are just going to sit here and just be insufferable homers all the time.
And I just, with the officiating, what would be the argument that it wasn't the officiating to a degree? Because when you say it's the officiating, nobody's saying that's the only reason that they lost.
Right.
There are things they could have done better.
Sure.
They could have rebounded better. They were out rebounded by 10. They could have won the turnover battle. They turned the ball over 4 more times. So there are things that they can improve to give themselves a better chance to win. But when you're doing all the same things the other team is doing, you're going to the basket and being aggressive, and you're playing really good defense, but everything you do is a foul and everything that they do isn't, that is a problem.
Hefty Lefty says, if the Suns go to game 7, what do you think the odds are that game 7 is officiated by Scott Foster? -200. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I sure hope not. I mean, aside from Scott Foster and the Chris Paul thing, which would just be atrocious to have that in a game 7, Scott Foster's just a bad ref in general.
I feel like if there is a fix, isn't the NBA, don't they want the Suns in there? I mean, what's a better story? The Pelicans get to the next round and take out the Suns, or is it better to have the Suns there later with Devin Booker when he comes back and all how dynamic and how good this team has been?
I mean, it would be, I think it would be better to have the Suns just because they're coming fresh off of a finals. And so you've got the name recognition and all of that, where these Pelicans are still kind of upstart guys. But I do think that there may be something to, hey, this 8 seed took out a 1 seed. Wouldn't you like to see how far they go? Because the one thing that the NBA playoffs don't have that the NCAA tournament does is upsets.
Cinderella story. Hitting the Nut says, well, it's my last week in Arizona. I'm moving to Florida. Go ahead and make your jokes. Well, we might let you change your name to Florida, man. He says, I'll try to listen to you when I can on the app, but I'll be honest, the time difference will probably make it difficult. I'll miss my favorite sports talk show. Oh, no, Hitting the Nuts. We can't. You can't stop listening. Well, we can now see if it's 3 o'clock here, it's 6 o'clock there. We'll be your favorite nighttime show.
How about
go? The plants will all die.
It'll be
888-368-1580.
Daily Blender After Dark.
Here, Keon, I'll give you $100 if you can tell me what movie that was from. You can't leave. The plants will all die. $100.
I don't know.
Randy, do you got this one? No $100 for you because you should know this.
I know it, but I can't think of the name of the movie right now.
Do you know who said it?
Wasn't it? Was it Stripes?
And, yes, well done.
Yeah, it wasn't. Was it
Bill
Murray?
Yes,
Bill Murray said it.
Good for you, man.
Yeah,
that's not it's not a hugely deep dive, but it's not a shallow one either. Good
Bill
job,
Murray,
man.
Stripes.
Good job.
Thank you.
We got to get this done. Time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Keon just lost $100. Back in the year 1963, in the second year of their existence, the New York Mets finally won a game on a Thursday for the first time in franchise history when they beat the Cubs 3-2 at Wrigley Field. During their inaugural season, the expansion team failed to register a victory in 15 games that were played on a Thursday. Talk to me, Jeffrey.
Wow, that's a deep dive. I mean, I don't know where Big George gets at. A+, Big George. A+.
Hefty Lefty thinks we should call hitting the nuts Gator Nuts now. The Jet says, hey, does hitting the nuts need me to sell their home there? I don't know. Do you need help hitting the nuts? By the way, I think we have time to spin the wheel of sports, don't we?
All right.
Can we spin the wheel? So Baker Mayfield got a statue. I don't know if you knew that. Not at the Browns. He got one for Oklahoma. And let me show you what this is what that statue looked like. Does that look at all like?
It's not even close. It
Baker
doesn't.
This is who this looks like.
Oh, it absolutely
From
does.
Terminator 2. He looks like the
T-2000.
Robert Pat, whatever his name is. But yeah, that's the T2 robot right there. Same ears. I mean, same hairline, same look. Somebody is like, I don't want to make a statue for Baker Mayfield. Well, just make it somewhere close. Okay. Have you seen this man?
Uh-huh. Wow.
That is ridiculous. And even if you've never seen Terminator 2, that does not look anything like Baker Mayfield. Not even close.
It
Not
really
even
doesn't.
close.
It reminds me of the bust that they made for Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yes.
And
That was worse than this.
That was worse than this, but this is not far off.
Wow. And what I love is the background is right there. That's not Photoshop. That's the actual background when they unveiled the statue. And this is from one of the final scenes of Terminator 2.
Oh, boy.
What the hell?
Oh, my God.
I mean, you can't convince me that's not who he made the statue of. All right, guys, that's going to wrap it up for us. And sorry, Jet, Hitting the Nut says his house is already sold, so it's already taken care of. But hey, good on you for the hustle. All right, guys, we're going to just see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. and we'll do it all again. Have a great night, everybody. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.